Tuloy-tuloy live selling, tuloy-tuloy content, tuloy-tuloy gaming. With new Smart All Access 99. May 9 gig ka. Now for 15 days. Load now. Live more today and tomorrow and after and the day after.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope channel feels alive. Lovely match. Ano ba nila? Kaya serio. Kaya Mike, comienza. W in the chat, guys. Okay, W guys.
Were locked in. You saw that the rating was higher for Blacklist International, but again, it all comes down to the execution. TLPH, on the other hand, you know, the versions that TLPH has shown us, there is one where it still throws it back to the whole, you know, back when they were Echo Express. Oh, hold on. Okay, so wow. JP is going to be the main focus, too, for setting things up, and that's what I was saying. Like, when they showed us that fast play style that they still have, it's scary to watch. Yeah. And in this case, of course, it's going to be a more little setup-centric. You have a Ganakacha and this Tigreal.
Okay, here comes the zone coming in from Sanji. And now Wiki Shadow Kill will bring down MPD King and Perks as well as Carl TZ gets the turtle. Here comes JP with an implosion onto Lord JM as the clash will pause there. And speaking of Echo Express, look at that, 2 kills to none, plus the turtle secured for TLPH, despite Blacklist actually having 4 agents. Yeah. During that turtle clash.
That's about as express as you can get, you know, in the first turtle. Get a whole lot out of it. And then on top of that as well, I just feel like, again, you always have to watch out for Sanford, where he's going to be coming through, or even JP, knowing that he has a flicker available. Again, these are, you know, 2 of the players that set things up for TLPH when they're looking for it. Ganakacha with the Vengeance as well. His job is literally to jump on in, get the taunts off, pop the Vengeance, and just wait for the rest of the team. So the fact that Carl TZ also got an early kill is going to be snowball potential here.
Speaking of an early kill, he wants to answer again with a Wiki Shadow Kill. Gonna bring down Perks once again. This is the aggression that you'd want from Carl TZ. Apart from the slow start that they have during the first week, this is a different kind of TLPH. You mentioned this even during week 6, that it seems like the Echo Express, the the stampede. What do you call that again? Shadow.
What, the Stampede?
The
Because
Stampede.
they're the cavalry?
Yeah, the stampede. Again, sticking to their identity, and I like that you brought up Gatot Kacha, because Sanford was the one who brought up the XP laners being the secondary roamers, being the front liners apart from the roam, so that the roam can be the setup person for their team. And it seems like that's what Sanford has in mind. Again, you mentioned the Vengeance with the Gatot Kacha. So I feel like JP's, if ever they win, JP's gonna be the MVP with his crucial setups. If ever Sanford continues to be the sandbag of TLPH.
Very interesting too. It's pretty much split for the most part. Community predictions here. A little bit in favor, of course, for our current champions of MPL Philippines, TLPH. Now, again, I think the dynamic has changed a little bit. Whenever we see Karltzy or, of course, Zyda there playing in the jungle right now, it's just this pure snowball for TLPH. And I don't know, like with the lineup that Blacklist is going to have here, they kind of just have to watch. They kind of have to just buckle up and wait, especially for Oheb, to get to the items he needs, because we've been talking about JP and Sanford so long because they're so tanky that you need someone to shred through that. And that's the kind of tough part for Blacklist and what they have to solve here. So really, I think even when the panelists were talking about, man, it's so much pressure, right? Who is that pressure going to be? Is it going to be on Haji or is it going to be on Oheb? And honestly, it's on both of them at this point.
You know, at this point as well, TLPH, just Sanji alone dominating the mid lane against two agents. Look at the damage and the range coming in from the Sluyi. That's why JP can freely roam. He doesn't have to worry about the middle lane because Sanji has it covered. And again, the question remains, the one you've been asking, who's going to be the person who's going to get Blacklist towards the late game to activate Oheb?
Yeah, okay,
And
oh
now
my
Carl
God,
TZ, it seems like he doesn't care about whatever, just goes in again with a Wiggy Shadow kill, and this time going to pick up a kill onto Haji as Blacklist answers with a take down bottom.
And that's what I'm saying is the scary part of it is Karltzy's snowball effect on Hayabusa. You know, off the top of my head, the most insane snowball we've seen on Hayabusa so far, I believe, was Demon Kite, when at one point he was like 10-0. Yeah. Karltzy obviously on the way here, 3-0 right now, and just no answer so far. And part of that, too, is the fact that they have a Louis Yi. I mean, how many times have we seen TLPH play around the Louis Yi pick, even with it, whether it be a Hayabusa, a Claude, or what have you.
Yeah.
This is the pressure that they're putting on. And like I said, for all the agents out there for Blacklist International, they kind of just have to wait at this point to get to hopefully a late game potential power spike.
Yeah, but at this point, even being contested.
Oh,
Karltzy goes in, but makes sure to get the kill onto Oheb.
Got to do a shout out plan. Okay, nice.
Now going to shout out from MP the King. And I like that you mentioned the Louis pick, because this is actually what Blacklist used to win against RSG, the Louis and Hayabusa that they were able to execute and control the Lord dances, but right now TLPH working on this turtle.
Okay, but you did that.
Will secure it. Here comes Sanford.
Oh my God!
JP answers right back with the implosion, making sure there is no escape once again. MP the King gets his purple buff.
Man, JP, if he sees the opening, he'll take it. Even if he uses that flicker, of course, this is continuous pressure. A little bit more, stabilized pressure from TLPH that we saw previously, and especially last week. But right now, it's all just fallen in place for them in Game 1 at the 7-minute mark, getting a whole lot to work with, too. And this is where it gets a little, confusing for Blacklist International because of the fact that once that map is opened up, especially we're talking about Tier 1 turrets going down, it gets a little tougher to deal with. Okay, where's the diversion going? And that's what's been happening here time and time again. And part of that job for Sanji is just that pick a point on the map, send to Karltzy if he wants to, and that happens. Even with this, it's still the big question mark is Kagura. Kagura shades the land of Dawn. She's the 7th most picked hero in MPL history. Whoa!
Oh my God, I'll be the king.
He doesn't care about the history of Kagura right now because he gets taken out of the picture.
I'm in present. It's Sanford and Karltzy flexing their TLPH recalls. You can get that, by the way. I already spent up all my diamonds. I only have the trial cards.
Same. I got that and the Fnatic one. Diversion.
Look at Sanji, the damage. So Haji answers right back with a Yang over.
Okay, ready to damage him.
Haji's going to fall down in a 5-man rotation for TLPH as they work on the middle lane turret.
I don't know if Sanford goes in.
Susko goes in. after Lord JM pops the
ဒီ damage စာ
vengeance
ပြီးတော့နော်ဒါ
as
ဝါ
they
ရဖို့တော့
clean
တော့
up
ရှင်းပါတယ်
the turrets in the middle lane.
And I'll go back to what I was saying earlier, man. TLPH has just taken everything at this point. There's so much space that they can work around with, and you can see it. Blacklist International is just, you know, their head can't turn fast enough. They're trying to keep it on a swivel, but really it's just TLPH shows up everywhere, and sometimes it's even just Carl Teasy. Like, Carl Teasy alone is enough to get distraction, and if he takes someone out in the picture and is able to escape,
Easy might,
that's much worse for Blacklist International.
အဲ့ဒီရှင်းမနေ
Looking at the
တော့
goal
1
differences
သူ
here,
တို့
they're
1 minute
already
ကို 1k
stacking
ကို
up,
လီ
guys.
ဆွဲနေ
It's
ပြီနော်
already nearly
သိထားမလို့
8,000
brother
gold lead
တော့
for
ကြည့်ရမိုက်တယ်
TLPH,
ကိုရ
and you can see how
Goalie
that's
မြန်အောင်လုပ်ထား
distributed across the lanes here, especially in the gold lane.
โอ้
Benny
ဟဲ့
Cutie,
Oh my god
and that's just damage from Sanji, but Benny Cutie's damage alone earlier when we saw that in the team fight, we talked about this on desk with Leo
ဒီဘက်လေးလွတ်သွား
yesterday.
အောင်နော်
The Benny Cutie bomb, when he picks this Nathan,
Benny bomb.
the Benny bomb, and he's already there. Like, you don't actually have to wait any longer. Like, his Nathan is
Yeah.
scary enough at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, I didn't
အခုစားနေ
even
တော့
see
first နေ
if
တော့
he
ရ
used
လည်း
the
မိကတက်
purify, the
အဲ့ပါ
no, yeah, the purify ones, and all his entropies so far are going in like this right now, trying to zone out Lord JM as the Lord pushes in the middle lane.
Lord's here. Shield's still on the mid lane. They're going to lose that quickly. There's the
Maybe.
conceal.
KJP surveying the scene, making sure to zone
Nice.
out the members of Blacklist as they work on the middle
Indeed.
lane inhibitor turret as Carl
အော်ဒီ
Teasy
easily ယူ
pushes
ကြအောင်နော်
up top, and Blacklist are
Ito,
able to
ito,
burst
ito,
down the
ito.
Lord, but the problem is, again, your late game insurance will rely on OHIB, starting out slow 0-1-1, and you'd expect Akari to dominate as much as possible compared to a Nolan at this point, but 3-0-0 in for Benny Cutie. If ever this even reaches the late game, TLPH still
Oh!
has, but look at JP with the implosion plus AOG coming in from Sanford as they work on the inhibitor turret, but
response.
he enters in with
Irre.
the ultimate,
Right hold
working on
out, no?
perks. Carl
So,
Teasy still has the
beat him
wee
early.
shadow kill, but it's not going to commit it though.
JP JP ကဘယ်သူလဲဆိုတော့ brother တို့ကျွန်တော်နည်းနည်းရှင်းပြရပါ
At
စေ
this point,
ပြ
they
တော့
aren't even scared,
အောင်းနေ
even
ပြီ
if
ရ
their ultimates don't
အ
connect.
လီစီတော့
They
ခ
don't
က်တာ
have, I mean,
အောင်းနေ
that was just an attempt.
He was မှာဆိုတာဒါ
Obviously,
အရင်
they
က
weren't
စင်ကာပူ
able
မှာ
to
ဆောင်းနေ
capitalize on it. Hold on,
Oh
they'll
Oh
capitalize
my
on that.
god MB the king ရှောင်း
Goodbye,
ချခံလိုက်
MP.
ကြော
Welcome back, Carl Teasy.
Easy.
Starting out strong with 5 kills already. Blacklist having
Hey,
such a
JP อ่ะကြော
hard
စင်ကာ
time
ပူမှာဆောင်း
trying
နေ
to defend their
ကောင်း
inhibitor
တဲ့
turrets, and in
ပလီ
50
ယာတယောက်နော်
seconds,
ရိုမာတယောက်ပါတာ
this could actually end with
ရိုမာရ
second
လုံးမ
point
ဟုတ်
for
ပါသူက mid နဲ့
TLPH.
mid
TLPH at this point, this
Oh,
one
pero calma,
is
please.
feeling unlosable.
အ
Massive
တန်းတော့ရင်းနေ
lead.
ပေါ့နော်ဒီပလီယာ
Blacklist International
ဒီ
with the
က
lineup that they
generation
brought
နှစ်
to
ခု
this
လောက်
one,
ကို
they
ပြီး
don't.
ဒါသူ
I mean, they have to be desperate to find something because even just JP showing up the front
Yeah,
side
actually.
with a conceal is enough
ပဲလေ
to put enough
Anthony-
pressure on
Anthony
them,
Quinn,
thinking,
yeah, that was good idea.
second guessing a lot
Oh,
of
alright.
this as they lose that top turret finally in the base.
ပြင်
And
စတယ်
so
လော
really
ပေါ်
for
တော့
them,
မိုက်
I
တယ်
don't
လော
know,
မ
man.
ပေါ်ခင်
This lineup just
Well,
doesn't seem to be
I got a way on you,
working
like.
in any form for them. Even you look at
Especially
the
look good,
gold gap between the
Balance
jungle.
like.
And then you look at the rest too. I mean, even in the mid lane, and that's exactly why you just see TLPH flexing. They're so far ahead. They know that even if they go in haphazardly or recklessly into a team fight, they'll be they'll be able to just
Stanford, solo web
overpower
on.
Blacklist International.
ခုနေအခုချိန်
And even if
1v3 လောက်
Blacklist
သူမကြောက်
manages
ဘူး
to
Also, how about
outclass
BA damage ka
TLPH,
tu?
the death timers
Iwa
wouldn't
gali
be
thuda
that
la
long,
guys.
enough for Blacklist to commit a full push in middle lane as TLPH will work on this Lord. Blacklist, I think they
That
really
easy.
can't
Benny
contest
Judy တော့ပြီး
this
သား
Lord
ပြီ
right
စီးပဲ
now
ကြည့်
with TLPH 12k
ဟိုကဘာမှ
gold
လာ
lead.
လို့
Let's think about
ဟိုကဘာမှလုံးလို့လည်းအဆင်မပြေဘူးနော်တက်လို့လည်းဘာမှ
Can Blacklist International do to stay in this game? We know that it's already a massive lead. The Lord's going to be coming its way soon. So for Blacklist, how do they pull this off? Number one, they avoid all the setups that we have seen TLPH do. That's between JP and Sanford. As long as they have the Purifies, there's a chance. They play around the mobility and utility that they have. But what is the scary part is Oheb and Haji, are they... Do they have enough damage profile to actually turn a team
Boy,
fight
sound
over?
anyway,
Because
Valo.
now we're talking about immortalities as well.
Yeah.
So there's a whole
Di ba
lot
chào
here
mọi
that has
Ủa,
to
chú
go
Rô có
wrong
vượt
for
cho nó bù chai nữa,
TLPH
nó.
and has to
Chú
go
làm
right
tụi-
for
chú làm
Blacklist
cái gì vậy?
International as they wait for this Lord to come through that mid lane.
အဲဆမ်ပေါ်ဆက်ထုံး
already
တွေးတော့
taking
ခုံ
the
ဟို
focus.
ဟက်
Sanford there enough to bring him to half health.
Here
Like,
comes
implosion,
JP
hindi ko
with the
swela eh.
implosion, gonna catch Lord
Kaya-
JM.
pagka jump
Sanford
niya,
goes
harap
into
sa
the
Shadow
AOG.
King,
Carl
umayon
Teasy
Bobby.
bursts on the back line. They still have the
God.
Lord. That's two
Alini
members
sa
now
Fire of
for
Shadow, that's why I
Blacklist and
beat that one, no?
TLPH.
လင်းကနာ
Very, very clean game
ကျွန်တော်
one
မိ
win.
ပြဖွင့်နေချိန်ပွဲပြီးတော့ရှင်းနေတယ်ကြောကဲကျွန်တော်နောက်တစ်ခါထပ်ပြီးခုံလိုက်အောင်
All right. So
So this time does
အိုး
feel like
ဂျူလီယန်
it
လေး
was
ထုတ်
very
လာပြီ
result
ကာတီစီဂျူလီယန်လေးကြည့်ချင်တာ
compared to
ကျွန်
the
တော်ကွက်တီပဲ
previous game, which I
အဲ့နိုလန်
thought
နဲ့
they
ဆွဲ
were
နေ
actually gonna pick right here.
Yeah.
They go for
အမို့
Trizla
ဒီဘက်က
instead.
လည်းနိုလန်ပဲ
That's
ပေးရနေတာတဲ့
clean. And now
Issue.
there's a defined front line and back line for Blacklist, and a
အဲ့ဒါဘာမှလုပ်မရအောင်
Monica
သွားရ
kinda
ပြီ
dive in and out.
မလုပ်မရ
And the lineup rating does not look good for Blacklist International.
Benny GTF
Almost
1-1.
all
Nice.
of
တော်တော်ကောင်းတဲ့ hero တစ်ကောင်ပါ
stats
Stanford
lean
ရဲ့
towards TLPH.
အလော့ Trizla နိုလန်
Survival
မယ်တီတာ
potential very close down the mid. The early to
တော့
mid
ဒီဘက်က drop ခံနည်းနည်းလေးကြိုက်တယ်ကျွန်တော်
is what's there.
Alexander Cloud တဲ့
Matilda, Nolan and Roxana. If you think
အဲ့
about
draft ကြိုက်တယ်
how
ဆိုတော့
well
ဒီဘက်မှာ
they
ဟို
can
အားကြီး
damage
ပါ
and
ရ
rotate,
Valentina
yes, but if you take in the picks of TLPH,
Don't
Blacklist
you-
International's
Colin
early
Kuma.
might be difficult to achieve.
Well, we wonder who came out on top here. in
ဟော
the
ဒီကကြောင့်
battles.
နေနာစီရတဲ့တရှိရှိပါတော့နော်
Casters
ကောင်းပါ
right
ပါ
now to get started.
And thank you very much,
Ah,
Ron
oui.
Redmar, again
So-
for the breakdown here. Game number 2. Welcome to the
Day
English
two,
Desk.
I
And
know.
nice to and joined here with me is
က
Ingan.
လောက်ကြီးစကီတူတက်သွား
And
ခင်
after a
ငါ
very
ကြည့်နေ
Game number 1 from
ဟုတ်နေစကီတူနဲ့
TLPH.
ထွက်လာ
We'll see
Wow.
if Blacklist International can adjust and take
Season
it to
ပို့ရ
game
ချင်လို့လား
3
1-1
because,
ထက်
man, the index
1 ကလောက်ကိုဖိမှာဆို
was
တော့သူက
not in
တည်
their
ရ
favor.
Yeah.
အဲ့
In
ဒါစ
terms
ကီ
of
တူနဲ့ထွက်လာ
setups, this is what happened
See the
during
game
game
was a
number
Kai
one. They
Dizzy.
do
Oh,
have the
Kai Dizzy
Matilda
là
and
nào
Eden,
nhỉ?
but the
Trizla
problem
này.
was there wasn't any
Nhưng
setups
Ali game
coming in
nào
from
tên là
Perks,
hero
and
được
we know
không?
Perks is an aggressive
Yeah.
Matilda.
Yeah.
So if
Rồi
they
tiêu
are
thì
on
làm
the
gì?
receiving end in the early game, we might
hả?
see a defensive Perks once again, which means Lord JM has to really do the setups with the penalty zone plus the flicker
ကျွန်တော်
combination.
X ကင်းနေတော့လိုချင်နေ
That's what kind of stuck out to me the
It's all-
most, especially with the
Yeah.
lineup when it was brought up from Blacklist is, yeah, you have to rely on Lord JM's Trizla. He has to be able to set things up for the most part. Of course, Perks can do that too, but you kind of also need to keep Perks in a position to get these members of Blacklist International out if they have to with the
Sanford
guarding and
eh.
everything else. And so there's a
Trizla
whole lot
နဲ့
here. That's
Sanfordနဲ့
also
ဆို
why they have the 3 purifies. They're rolling with that just
He
because
didn't
of
roll with it.
what has happened so far just in the past weeks whenever JP gets his hands on the Tigreal, and that's always a part of it. And like they mentioned as well, you have the 1-1 appearing again after we saw this performance
that's big.
yesterday is obviously still a very comfort pick, not just because his
Nice.
daughter's that's
Oh,
the
we love
nickname, but it's the point that Benny
Sanford.
Cutie he made some of his
That's fun,
biggest
that's
plays
clutch.
on this
Oh.
hero, and he still got it
Yeah.
even after we saw yesterday.
Favorite hero with the 1-1, and look at Carl TZ just Sanford just really flexing,
အဲ့လာ
selling
လိုက်တာဒီဖန်ကို
their
ကော
own
လေး
recalls here. And going back to your point again, Benny Cutie.
Trizla level 3 level 4 လို့ချင်းသူတို့
A
နေ
lot
တာ
of
တယ်ဗတဲ့မ
crucial
စားခင်
games
တော့
has
ကောင်းတဲ့
been
decision
played,
တစ်ခု
has been won
တာ
by
တယ်ဗ
Benny
တဲ့
Cutie
အစားရ
in
လေ
this
ဖို့မ
1-1
ရ
game.
သေးဘူး
Let's see if it
Oh.
goes well, because this is the first turtle up for grabs. As TLPH,
oui.
the cavalry, making
ဒါ
sure
ရ
to
တဲ့
zone
နာ
out
ရ
the
ပြီ
agents.
ကာလီစီနေ
Look at
လူ
that.
ထိပေါက်ပြီးအေးဆေးပါပဲ
They just walk up.
Whoa! And just like
စီးတာ
that,
ပဲဟိုဘက်တင်ရတယ်
first blood will be
Oh.
drawn by TLPH, and it goes to Sanji, and they steal away the purple buff.
I wasn't expecting them to just get a kill like that. Like they literally, TLPH just walked up and said, "No, you're not going to
အိုး
pass
မ
this
န်ဂေါ
line."
ဟဲ့အောင်အေး
And
တန်းဖော်
Sanford
တော်တော်လေး
bringing on
pressure
Lord
ပေးနေ
JM.
အောင်တော့ကျွန်တော် Trizla ကြီး
Sanji, we all know the Valentina
Yeah,
can
no.
burst down anyone, especially early to the mid game.
ဗလန်
And
တီ
it
နာ
looks
ဆို
like
အားလေးကင်း
Sanji's
အောင် pressure
really
ပေးမှာပဲ
making most out of this Valentina pick. Who did they get there? It was Perks.
Yeah.
ဟောရှော့ enemy ရဲ့
Perks
ESP
went
ကို
down.
ဘရမ်းပါနော်ဗလန်တီနာ
And also, that's part of the equation here from TLPH is Sanji. He can have his picking when it comes to ultimates. Obviously, in that instance, he took Haji's here. He had his own internal guard. But even to that case, like Sanji, don't hold him against him if you see him
Haji.
take even a penalty
ဘန်
zone
ဂျူဒီ
later on.
000
Or
ပါ
certainly
level 5 ရောက်
he has so many
Wow.
options that he can go with and
အဲ့
approach.
လို
But
level 5ရောက်
if
နေ
it
ပါ
comes down to that,
See the
where
kick?
hold on,
Press
MP?
ခံရမယ်နော် What the hell Oh my
with the
god ဒါ DC
combination,
ကောင်းလိုက်
also
တာ
use the
Sanford
Retry to make sure to bring down MP, the king, and just like that,
Liquid
Carl
report
TZ
you.
didn't even
I don't
play
know.
yesterday.
Let's go
He was
liquid, so
out
yeah.
sick, and this time I believe you can't just be okay right after one day. I feel like this is a flu game for Carl TZ.
အကြီး level
Oh,
5
you can see this already. He's building up here.
ဘန်ဂျီကတော့
And
ပို့ပြီးတော့
the
ဟိုဖြစ်
lead
မှာ
that he's going to
ဒီ
have
ဘ
on
က်တောင်
MP
ဘာ
the
လို့ဆိုတော့
King,
ဗလန်တီနာ level 9တဲ့ hero ဆို
nearly on the same path here. Lockdown.
Okay,
Okay.
that's forced out of the penalty zone from Lord JM. Still wants
Nice,
to go
so
in
we
for
got
Carl,
this
but
time away.
making sure they still
Taking a blow
display
now, no?
discipline.
As I was saying, it's still on the same path as game number 1. So MP needs to rely on the team to help him get, to a point where things aren't just getting clearly taken from him left and right. Because if the Turtles continue that way, like we saw
Agree,
with
homie.
Turtle number 1, and then you get to the Lords, it's just not going to end well for Blacklist International. And that's why you see really the pressure already starting from TLPH, and so Perks, even his job alone is kind of difficult because he's got to go scout things out to allow that safe approach for Blacklist right now. This second turtle's up. Sanford also picking up the Thunderbelt, making his way for the fight. They're going full force for this one as they just kind of zone out Perks, and MP has to wait.
You know, at the very least, Black tries to go for a trade.
Nice
as TZ will secure that turtle. Sanford, though, use the final slash onto Perks, but will escape. And okay, this is what happened during game number 1. Blacklist was playing so defensively, so passively, that it got to the point that TLPH lead because there was no trade coming in from Blacklist. And of course, Carl TZ's performance with the Hayabusa. 3-0-0 to start the early game. And if Blacklist continues to just wait on OHIM, it's going to be an easy fast game again for TLPH.
That's one of the things here.
Whoa. Coming in from Sanji and Carl TZ, though. Turret, but manages to kill Perks. An off-cam kill. As the lead balloons up to 3.4k. Carl TZ onto OHIM, but BMI out. Sanford, though.
Oh my god, implosion la
does with the implosion, making sure OHIM doesn't escape. They want to go for more. Haji's the next target, and he's going to fall down as well. Wow! It's really flexing.
I'm sorry, Blacklist International fans and agents out there, but man, TLPH, it just looks like they're playing with the food at this point, man. Like they are just doing things they shouldn't be able to do at this point in the game, but because of the lineup that they have, they get away with it all.
It's too much. Really too much. And this is to mention that Blacklist has 3 Purifies, but JP manages to catch them still. And this is what you get when you have over. And in this case, they also have the luxury of having Sanji with Valentina. Eventually can get the penalty zone from to get the eternal setups. TLPH, it's just too much. And you're right.
Yeah.
They're just playing with their food right now. Stalking their prey, playing with their food. Look at Betty Cutie forcing the blazing duet from OHIM as he manages to escape. But just like that, it's hard to stack up a crossbow of Tang onto a Claude because of the mobility. Benny Cutie doesn't care. He can do whatever he wants. Implosion has to walk away there up against 3 calls.
I said it earlier. I was like, I wouldn't hold it against Sanji. Taking whatever ultimate he wants. I named 3, but I didn't name OHEMs. I didn't name the Blazing Duet.
Conceal JP though doesn't have that implosion yet.
Okay.
He does have the
Again,
Sacred Hammer,
play
and now the slash coming in from Sanford to get Lord JM. The guiding went out. Everything soaking up the damage. Sanford stays alive, and Betty Cutie works on the middle turret. Nice, so this is what you're saying. At this point, TLPH can get away with it.
Yeah. So for Blacklist, when you really want if you're looking for some sign of hope for them in this game too, with things, I mean, we're talking almost 9,000 gold difference under 8 minutes. And that is a full-on force snowball. Like, you are just going downhill at this point. So for Blacklist, if they want to somehow, some way turn this around, they have to punish TLPH when TLPH is just, taking chances at this point because of how far ahead they are. And that's, honestly, for Blacklist to get back in the game, that's what it has to be. If they continue to wait, you're kind of just holding on. You're holding on to the door at this point because TLPH going full force as they now take out tier 2s. And they're just going to zone in and on these base turrets even without a Lord.
Okay, they're going to pop the energy shields, the holy shields of Blacklist inhibited turrets even before the first Lord, as you mentioned. Yet still, TLPH needs to do this flawlessly in order to end the game. As they flex once again, their recall.
They're out there. That's my second favorite right there, the Lightning.
What's your first? Oh, the Lightning from Fnatic. This is my first. Look at that. Flex like that. Flex your biceps as well. TLPH, they deserve to flex like that. Again, but the stakes are high for them. This is the playoff securing matchup game for TLPH.
TLPH, they know, again, what's at stake here, even for Blacklist International, but right now they have to focus on just a base defense. A massive lead and a deficit for them to work against as they get kind of buckled in for a push from TLPH, and at this point, I don't think they are where they need to be. I know we have talked about Claude after, you know, this patch that went through where he comes on online a little bit faster, but just look at the disparity, between even the items between the goal laners alone. Benny picking up a nature, so now that risk factor of let's just force it into the base and end this thing just went skyrocketed high. At this point, you can see it already too. Sanji just enough to kind of force them back as they wait for the Lord to come in here. So for Blacklist, what do they need to happen? Lord JM has to get a penalty zone. He's most likely just going to get taken out. But there's Sanford. He'll miss.
Sanford. Okay, Lord JM goes in. Counter-attacking in from Blacklist. As OM bursts down with a blazing duet, but Lord JM still falls down as they work on the Lord here. They're going to save their inhibitor turret, but here comes Perks with Circle Eagle. MPTK trying to go, but look at the answer from JP!
Oh, survive
to catch
oh my god, from the flashing
Sanford, giving Carl Teasy a killing spree.
Oh man, that's exactly what I was saying. That might have been their moment.
But
oh my god. Even done. The young goat has minions. They're going to try and work on the crystal here as Carl Teasy goes out. And just
still 0 kill,
like
guys.
Is reborn. You know,
he's reborn.
4-0-4. This isn't what we saw during the first half of the season from Carl Teasy. Man, his prime just keeps getting better and better as he works on Lord JM 1v1. Works on the middle lane inhibitor turret here. They're going to take it down. Blacklist.
There's
no
what to say.
Fight for their lives, for their
divine type of beat damage.
They're not going to get eliminated though, but again, as much as possible, you really want to get the win.
They have to. Again, at this point though, man, it's
hang on.
What happened in the last team fight is what I was saying. You know, that would have been the best case scenario for them, and it was unfortunate because even when that re-engage came through from MP the King, he just got caught by JP. So, you know, those things, the boxes were being shuffled because of just how far behind they are economically. It's, you know, they weren't able to actually capitalize on it. This is what you have to deal with now.
In a typical Liquid Stampede style, one-man line flexing all the recalls. What a sight to see, and we can hear Green Sun losing their minds.
I don't know, man. That's... At that point, that's fine. They're getting in formation.
Different formation this time, as Daddy JP is leading the pack with a 14.1k goal lead. Again, guys, we're going to go back to your point. At this point, they can literally get away with anything.
Man, that's like the 5 dudes in your gym, wherever you are, just standing in front of the mirror, flexing together, and you're like, guys, can I please get to the dumbbell rack?
Yeah, man, you have to be honest, nice too. You're one of those.
I'm not, You even dance in front of the mirror. Let's you know, let's put that out there. Now, looking at the items. They're waiting for the defense. Oh, hold on.
Information to could go out EG or no?
Go for Sanji.
You got Philippine or liquid in the sign. Information sign.
As TLPH works on the purple buff of Blacklist.
Information block here don't charge as well.
MP the
Philippine I love you.
dominate using the Snowland 0-0, not off to a good start.
The game.
Don't
for sure.
needed is OM picks up Ferocious Sight. Does have the Trinity build, but again, will it be enough to out-sustain the damage coming in from TLPH? Because we've seen Sanford miss even the final slash and the counter-attack from Lord J, but it was not enough. Here comes the conceal.
Seal's gonna be used.
Okay, final slash kaya ba tag with 2 man.
But all in la di ba ma. Everything is your fault. They are playing. And with that, JP and the rest of TLPH will go to the playoffs.
In a dominant fashion once again, game number 2. Even more so than game 1. TLPH does it again, and yes, they will lock in that spot for the playoffs to go and, of course, defend their title. Man, they're looking primed and ready for it. That was, I think that was almost a 17,000 gold lead. It had to be about 16.
Front line already enabled. Gold laner missing here for Aurora.
Okay, Fnatic on a Philippines versus Aurora. Wow, yeah, it had a thing.
For the Lunox, but then you don't see the matchup yet for Domeng. The Harith was banned out by Aurora.
Alice sounds great, just so you can't die immediately to
Yeah.
Khalid putting pressure on you.
Exactly. If this isn't a magic damage gold laner, they might actually go Gata in the EXP lane, so they have a little bit more magic damage. Because again, Valentina cannot be the only magic damage leader.
Explain ကြည့်ရစ
She
င်
needs
ဟုတ်
someone to be paired up with in terms of the magic.
Snola.
တော့မတားကြီးနေတယ်ပြောကြ
Sorry.
ဟုတ်နော်
And there's Alice.
Yeah.
Like, it's not super surprising if you think about the lineup they have and the matchup that they have. The
Yeah.
matchup is so crucial because sometimes, especially if they went for a conventional XP laner here,
Yeah.
or gold laner rather, that might actually just get demolished, hunted out by a Ling, right?
Yeah. The gold laner here for Aurora. It's tough to go static, so Ixia and Melissa will be tough.
Moscov's
Seems like
out.
Moscov's out. It seems like you're stuck with a carry or maybe even what's the name of that guy, Nathan?
Nathan.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
But might be I'm just looking at the lineup of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, and there's a lot of gold laners that will struggle. You mentioned the Clinton, maybe, but let's see.
That's a Lunox though.
Yeah, okay, they match it. It's the old
Magic
matchup.
for magic.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay.
It's been a while since we've seen a major.
တော့ပဲလည်းစရထားပြင်း
gold
တယ်
lane here.
Yeah, all conditions checked.
ကဲတော့ကဘာထုတ်လာ
Well,
ခဏ
I'm
တော့
currently looking
ချောင်း
at-
နေနဲ့ထွက်လာ
I
ချောင်း
think
ဒိုင်
I'm
မေ့စီ
just
ပါ
gonna
လေ
go
ဆော့
back
ပလိုက်
to
တဲ့အောင်
the
အားရပါရ
EXP
ပဲ
lane, who has more impact in the map, not necessarily just winning the game. But Aurora, they are leading.
Well, we
in terms
might
of
on Tila.
early to late game potential is for them. With the amount of crowd control
Right,
that
that's
Fnatic
kind of
Onyx
radium,
Philippines
nice.
has, having a little bit more pick-off focus, that might throw Aurora off their game if Aurora gives Fnatic Onyx Philippines the opportunities to pick their members.
ပဲ
off.
လာတော့
This is so spicy, man.
ပဲလာတော့တော့ကောင်း
Either
တော့
way,
ပြီ
they have assassins that can scale really well, early, fast.
တော့အေး
Yeah.
တော့
And I
ဦးကြောင်
love
ဆော့
this. They match one for one, blow for blow. Let's throw it over to the casters. Give us the action into this
ဟေး
game.
points left
Blow for blow matchup. We're seeing another gold lane mage matchup for these two
Alright,
teams.
so Franco, yeah,
Welcome
lot,
to
yeah.
match one of the, of
Yeah,
the
welcome to
highlight
one
match
against guys.
of day number
Ano
2.
yawe.
This is none other than
ကက်စတာဒီမဟုတ်
Fnatic
ကျွန်တော်
Onyx
ကက်စတင်းလို့တာမဟုတ်
versus
I don't
Aurora
guess what.
MLBB. Welcome to the English desk. My name is Inga, and together with me is Naisu.
Okay
So
လူကြီးက
far,
ပေါက်ပြီး
Naisu,
သွားပြီ
how did you enjoy that amazing draft?
I enjoyed it as much as I could here. You know, it's part of the fact that you have,
Right.
of course, a Hayabusa versus a Ling matchup. That's exciting alone, especially with these two junglers. Again, King Kong has just been doing amazing things throughout the season. Integral part of the
What?
success in the win streak. And
လာတယ်နော်
you know, I'm very vocal that I just love watching Demon Kai, one of my favorite junglers right now. So, but aside from that, putting all that to the side right now, is that yes, the
ကမ်း
gold
မ
lane
who
matchup.
knows နဲ့
This is where our eyes are going to be for, especially
Well,
towards
let's
that
see.
mid game, and even
what the
in
hell
a
is
sense,
what
the
is going
early
to
game.
match
How
up
is this
like
going to support the
okay
two
because
assassin junglers
လုံး
and
ကြ
their
ပြီးမှဆင်ရအောင်
rotations?
လို့ဆိုလုံးလုံးနဲ့
Because the Cho
Harry
here already
ဒီဟို
early
ရ
on,
အဆင်မပြေဘူး
Domeng takes a
Those
couple
got
shots.
PM
Of
on
course,
it.
he should be able to get out of this. He
ခုန
was
က
back
မ
up
ခံမ
too.
လီနဲ့တည့်အောင်
But
တော့
that's
ပြီး
the
ပြန်ဟီ
thing.
လို့ရဆို
Cho,
တော့
man,
အဲ
has
4
been
ခွေ
on
ပြီးကင်းကော
point
င်းတော့လာ
lately in
တော့
the previous matches.
Yeah, in terms of the Rome matchup, in terms of AoE, you
But
can
friends,
expect Renegade to be more
when I tune
aggressive.
in
But in terms of mobility
တော့ဘယ်လိုအ
and
လုပ်လို့
those,
ကြောက်ရမလဲမသိဘူးခါတော့စားရှိပဲသူတို့
potential, Brusco's really going to have an easier time, especially with his mobility. And again, at
သ
the
တိပို့
same
ထား
time,
မှရပါ
this
နော်
is also a matchup between the gold standard and the possible next standard in Doming. We've seen a lot of flashes of stardom from
Yeah.
this kind of hero, and now rocking the
Hey,
Lunox and Mage
Mashallah.
up against
Nice.
Kelras.
ပုံလေး
I
ချုံရတယ်
believe
တော်တော်လေး
fourth
တန့်တယ်သိလား
most used hero, the Alice. It's going to be a really tough matchup for Fnatic. But looking at the community prediction,
That's close.
wow, close, but Aurora still edges out Fnatic Onyx. So a lot
Oh, yeah.
of people are actually
47.5
hoping Aura banking on the
53.5
momentum
yeah.
that
Think I'm a
Aurora
quarter
has
one, no?
gotten, especially since they were
တော့
able
ကွာလားကွာတာ
already
တဲ့အောင်
to secure a playoff spot.
Oh
Look
my
at
God.
this.
Already some poking back and forth. Eternal Guard going to be dropped down. They get the
Okay.
Sandstorm too. Under the turret they go. A whole lot committed. Brusco joining the
Ooh.
fight. Doesn't have
Yeah,
level
Eddie
4
Maybe she
though.
got, no?
Has a concussive blast.
သူက
and
တော်
plus
တော်လေးကို
the
တက်တောင်
bonus
ချတယ်
damage,
flick
but has
ပြီး
to
လိုက်
get
လာ
out
ရော
with the
ချောင်းလေး
flicker.
ခ
Now
မျိုးစ
Super
ရာ
Prince joining the fight.
ဒီနဲ့
Primal
တင်း
Wrath
ရက်
as
ပြီး
well.
okay
Goes down.
Is
No one
it
goes.
Final
But the
Slash?
final slash can be used as well from Kirk.
Oh my God,
Everybody
first
is here
shot.
all at
That was a
once.
terrible-
Kirk goes
Nice.
down too. Now Edward. Tempest Blades is used as well
Okay,
from
back
Demon
line.
Kite
Nice.
to get out of there.
This is like a
ခုနိုင်နေတယ်ဘာမှအလုပ်မလုပ်လိုက်ဘူး
wrestling match wherein everyone just keeps popping and popping. The saves
that
are
up,
there
man.
for Fnatic and
Right
Aurora
there, on it.
to have a trade. But Fnatic edges out that clash with 2 kills, and King Kong will secure this turtle.
That was a
Right.
whole lot. Just, you know, good response. I mean, at first I thought it was just going to be a disengage after the initial, fight broke out. But then one by one, everybody showed up. But ultimately, what happened is, yes, objective that ended up being an objective secured for FNOP.
Yeah, it's like,
Eh?
imagine if these
LG.
players have their own background
Two
music,
knocks ne.
like wrestlers.
တော့ခတ်မှာဟဲ့ okay မြောက်လိုက်ပြီ nice GG သူတို့နေရပါလား oh Demon Knight
It's still alive
oh
now.
my god ဟဲ့
Dude
eh
has to
Shadow
touch blades on
Gilly
out of there.
တမ်းမောင်းတဲ့ blade
You
ရှိ
saw
တော့
that
တော့
as
ဆိုလိုက်ဖြစ်သွား
well. Super Prince taking his own Temps of Blades
Inkom, totally
ultimate,
first
but,
level.
you know, nonetheless,
ကြရ
no one knows
Valentina
now.
survive ဖြစ်
What
သွား
do
တာ
you
ရသူတို့
expect?
တော်တော်
Looking
ကြီး
at
ရှင်
the
နေကောင်းပါ
lineups, you have very mobile XP laters,
Okay,
but they're
Khan.
not even done.
I don't know if he's going to be able to win. He tries to go in. He
oh
does.
my god ရပါ
With
လေ
the
လွ
quad
တ်တာ
shadow just in time,
was
but you
that
saw
about?
how close it was. Meanwhile, more action up top in the gold lane. Domeng versus Kelra. Brilliance is there. The blood out.
oh my
It's
god
going to be
oh
enough
nice
as
Kelra
Kelra
နဲ့
picks up the
Domingo
kill.
1v1 မှာ shut down
I
ချလိုက်
got
တယ်
a
ပေါ့
commander or game
LSD
observers.
နဲ့
They always know when to
Donosco.
go, where to go, but Renegade
သူ့ရဲ့
here,
advantage ကို
sorting
ရောက်
out Brusco
သူ့
as
နဲ့
There's
Fnatic
another-
ဒီ
gets
ကို
the
ကန်လာပြီ
kick.
brush
There's
နိုင်
the
ပါလား
kick.
nice သူတို့ရဲ့ brush ချ
Renegade
လိုက်
will go down. Kirk gets the kill. Man, they're just not stopping here. Hang on.
4 minutes in, 4 kills on the kill scoreboard. Now make it 5. So we have more kills than
Wow.
minutes.
အခုစားလည်းတော်
consumed
တော်
here
first
for
နေတော့
game
ဗျာ
number
3ရော
one.
ထားမိ
They
တာမ
are
သိ
not
တော့ကြည့်နေ
disappointing. And again, looking at the lineup, you'd expect this kind of play style for both of these teams. XP lane
Oh,
wise,
holy.
very
Ariana
mobile.
says
You have
she's
the
gonna follow.
Khalid, and you have Kirk's Arlot. And apart from that, of course, Rome Cho. Although Renegade
ခုနက
isn't
သူ့နေ
that
တာတယ်
mobile,
နဲ့
you
quest
know Renegade being
And
the player
the
that
West
he
Side
is,
Meta
always
come
wants
over.
to be present. And
ပတိ
apart
ပေါင်း
from
နိုင်
that,
ဘော
the
လို့ဟာရဘူးစား
assassin
level 8 သူ့စမှာ
matchup
7
between
ပဲရှိတယ်
Hayabusa and the
ဒီက
link
ကျွန်
of
တော် distribution
Demon
တက်
Kite.
ထွက်တဲ့ damage တွေကပို့
And
ပြီး
right now,
Eh?
really on working
Tabi
on
can
this
engineer
gold
tu ni
lane.
ni
Will
ide
we
ko.
see a kick from
Dulu ni
Brusco
nak.
as Super
Kare
Prince
brush lu ya ada
has the
saja.
Primal Wrath though, so they can burst down Aurora at any given moment.
Yeah, all this to
ပါတယ်ပေါ်လာပြီ
go ahead and hold on for the
တောင်းနေရ
objective.
တာတယ်
being
မလို့
up.
okay
Super Friends holding on to the Primal
ပတ်
Wrath.
တီပဲ Valentina ရထားတဲ့ odds ကြီးကလာတယ်ဗော
also
နော်
just
ဒီနေနဲ့
looking
HP က
for
20% လောက်ပဲရှိတော့
some space to work with around this, but he's also going to be very careful because he could get kicked, just like we saw previously, but
Oh,
no
nee,
one pulled the
totally.
trigger on the turtle.
ကောင်းတယ်
And
တောင်းကြ
Brusco
ည့်နေ space
really
က
working on Edward
position
right
လိုက်ယူ
now. Still, both teams have yet
Oh,
to start this
nice.
turtle, but Fnatic Onyx is
အဲ့ level
here.
8ပဲရှိ
Demon Kite as well, just waiting for the
အဲ့
perfect
အကြောင်း
opportunity to
ဒါတွေပဲ
mount
မ
the
စားရ
red
ဘူး
three.
ကျွန်တော်
The King
Rora
Kong
ni.
Super Friends still with the Primal Wrath again, but you have to wait for Kirk. The final slash flicker is
Wow.
available.
Okay,
Renegade just
Basket
zoning out.
Philippe,
Brusco
betul kan,
with
Tina
the
nanti
kick.
changnya.
There's the sandstorm
Kalau
on the back
sendiri
line.
dah
He's going to
sandstorm
be able to
back
find
line,
Kelra
sensalah.
still. They ignore the
Kalau
turtle for
Shadow
now,
got
but
drop mine,
Renegade's
eh.
the first to go
Nice.
down. Wora
Oh,
still
yeah,
dealing with
quite
it. There's
deep,
the
eh,
kick on the
carry a
heel, and now
lot.
Edward
Oh
could be
my
in
God,
trouble.
that era
Kite
Demon
gets
Knight,
the
yeah,
turtle. Brusco goes down in the exchange, and now they're looking for more. Tempest of
Oh,
Blades.
yeah.
Kirk tries to dodge it, but he gets
Crap.
met from
အားလုံး
Domeng.
နေနဲ့အုံတော့တော့
And
လိုက်
so
တာအောင်ဒါ
Wora
မလွတ်ပါ
will
ဟိုက
fight
ကွက်တီ
back.
စောင်း
They
နေ
get an objective, but still, FNOP holding on to a small lead.
That was an own goal for Brusco. We waited for the Raging Sandstorm to be to get done
Kelra,
casted, then just
yeah.
kicked Edward, and all of a
Dunno
sudden
sense.
Edward
Yeah,
answers
about
right
that.
back. The tenacity takes into effect there as they get
Oh.
to and now are working on the top lane of Fnatic Onyx. This is an aggressive start from both of these
Oh.
teams, but here comes Renegade.
Okay.
There's never the Earth
ဟောရပါပြီ
There it is. Raging
ဟောဒီ
Sandstorm
လူနု
once
စ်ကိုကန်
again
လိုက်တယ်
locked down
မင်းနဲ့မပြီး
Kelra.
ဟာရော
Already using the blood out. Brusco there. Now Kirk
Okay.
and Super Prince
Nice.
going to be
Quite
joining
well.
the fight.
Phantom
They
Slash
break
be
it
like-
out. UA trying to get there in
Oh
time.
my
Might be a
God,
little
ये
bit
मत
too
यार
late.
बिसा-
There's the
we are
guard
done
to
here,
heal
Marvin.
him back
Who
up.
knows?
Eternal
Ultimate
guard
G.
dropped down as well. Edward should
Oh
be able to
my
get away, but he
God,
can't because
Christ.
Kirk will clean up the kill. But
Kite.
here's
Nice. Oh
Demon
my, Demon
Kite
Knight ni.
as he shows
Demon
up,
Kite kau lah.
picks up and cleans up as Demon Kite
Play
swings
niya
on
naman
in.
Demon Kite.
And Demon Kite
Yeah.
just doing Demon Kite things with the 301 KDA with this Ling. Late entry and no problem, but props to Edward. So making sure that the fight was
မနာနဲ့ level ဘယ်လောက်
long
ရှိတာ
enough,
10အဲ့ဒါဘူးစား
for them
level
to
11
wait
King
for the
Kong နေနဲ့
finish
family
voice of
လိုက်တော့ပဲ
Demon
နော်
Kite.
တဲ့
but still Fnatic Onyx with the neutral objectives that they've been taking.
Yeah.
They're still in the lead, 941 and almost non-existent. But the problem is, Kelra still is activated. 2-0-0 hasn't been picked off yet despite numerous attempts. And here comes the
See the
pick-off
king.
onto
Oh.
Kirk.
nice
Again, another team fight breaking out. Brusco
Blake.
zoning out
But
Domeng for the fight, but Kirk goes down.
တဲ့ on နေသူတို့နေ
Brusco
ရ
at
ပုံ
half
နဲ့
health
ဖြစ်သွားတယ်
takes
နော်
a couple shots. He's going to back off for now, too. So
Valentina
Rora
အဲ့
will
ဒီမ
finally
နိုင်
get that
ultimate
tier
ကြီးဘာ
1
လို့မလဲကျွန်
turret.
တော်ပြော
They
ဒါ
pick
တူ
up
နေ
a
ကန်
kill
ဆယ်
in
တော့လောက်လိုက်
exchange, and now Conceal going to be used to the mid.
Okay, they're going to zone out the property of Fnatic Onyx. Shrenji is really zoning out the members of
ဒီ
Fnatic.
မှာဟာရဘူးစားပဲရှိ
And
တော့
Aurora really moving as one. If you see one Aurora member, most probably there's 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
Ready to come back as they work on the
Okay,
turtle.
nice.
Edward
Space
continuing
diya
to
la,
zone out
live play with her.
Brusco.
ခုနက
And
ဟော
this
နေ
is
သူ
the
တို့
start
အာရီ
that
ဂိမ်း
you
တာ တာ
already
ထားတယ်အဲ့
for
တော့
Aurora.
ဘာ
You've
မှ
got
လုပ်လိုက်
already 2 turtles. In terms of kills,
That was a
Fnatic Onyx
magnificent
is
roll.
leading.
Nice.
But the point is,
Goalie
the
dia
kills
tengah
are
ada
going
save
to
yang
the
kill
right
lah.
person, which is
Oh, ya,
even
muka awal
Kite
goalie.
and Doming.
Yeah, both of them. Even when we looked at that breakdown earlier, even when they were down, you know, about 1,000 gold or so, it was relatively even in lane-to-lane matchup economy-wise. And that's why you see so many of these fights. It's kind of just a, 50-50 at some point. But Aurora, for the most part, has been really layering.
Oh my god, la from the slash damage anama. Wa bien ji ne ya, chao ni ne khong la le.
Jump in, trying to find the target. Super Prince and King Kong on the back foot, but meanwhile it's a cutoff as Kelra goes down. Renegades gonna be next. Still trading under this tier 2 turret. Now Kirk flickers on out of the defense. Demon Knight tries to go in, but gets terrified. He's got to back off. Now King Kong, where's he going to go? Is he going to reinitiate?
Offense.
Still Edward and UA here around the purple buff. He's going to work for it. Goes in with quad shadows. Picks up a kill, but it's Super Prince that grabs it.
The best part is King Kong still, I believe, was able to get the purple buff. It was supposed to be a worth it trade already for Aurora because it was Kelra for Renegade. But with that additional kill to Edward, Fnatic Onyx seems to find answers despite the aggression that Aurora has been showing. Props to Kirk, though, for trying to delay the push that Aurora was doing with the final slash from that brush up top. So clearly, these two teams have really mastered the rotations of each other because they always have answers. Answer right, answer right, answer. But when it comes to the mid game to the late game, though, who do you think will have the edge here?
Mid game, late game, this, hold on, Domeng already taken out.
Oh,
Kelra survive there too on the backside, providing vision. The Eternal Guard will probably go down in exchange as he does. Aurora as FNOP picks up a couple kills and Lord is up.
Level 14. King Kong lấy rồi của nó. Teammate and team của tao chui lại
that Aurora was aggressively trying to burst down, and right on time as the first Lord spawns, Aurora MLBB outnumbered here by the 5 members of Fnatic Onyx. They work on Edward.
Delay this enough. Trying to take the attention here. Over to the final slash. Expended King Kong though. There's the shadow kill. He'll be able to go ahead and get the Lord. Now Edward goes in, Raging Sandstorm, but disengaged Aurora. I don't think that's a fight further for them.
Không chú nó cố tạo tao bảo cái tiệm nào lo create chi sai à vậy. Này bây giờ EXP là bổ đủ rồi. Nó tên nó tải là bảo được nhiều cốm nên lo đấy. Phải tên tải đấy chỉ kỳ này nó tên nó à. Tôiပြောnày EXP này goal gain này tôi có nó.
Now Renegade uses the Earth Shatter Flicker combination. That's a major resource down for their main initiator. Now Fnatic Onyx can make the most out of this first Lord.
That's enough information
to
not going to connect the way Kirk was hoping, but they try to hold the Lord of the mid. Still Edward taking the brunt of the damage. King Kong forcing him back. They want to get this 2-1 down the lane. Super Prince holding on to the Raging Sandstorm. Dealing them from the edges here. So tough. Super Prince inside the jungle. Good initiate, but so far the Lord's been taken care of.
Even Super Prince just standing in front of 3-4 members, not afraid.
Media first
that Raging Sandstorm ready to be casted. Look at Kirk's position. This is the crucial part!
There it is.
My god, 4 man.
Renegade's already gone. 3 members quickly go down, but there's the fight back. Tempest of Blades comes down from Demon Kite. Now could be looking for Brusco, but he's held to the winds, and he's going to go back. It's a 2-for-3 trade.
Man, we've been saying that our gold laners, not just Kelra, not just Domeng, but majority of our gold laners in MPL in terms of positioning, is really superior, but you have to commend where Kirk was at prior to this clash. He's the one that started things off with that amazing final slash flicker combination. Man, Super Friends being the sandbag even as he got that Raging Sandstorm. Fnatic Onyx cleans up 3 against Aurora, but still Aurora was able to defend their inhibitor turrets. They still have 2 tier 2s everywhere.
Yeah.
And man, this is a matchup we're all waiting to see.
That's exactly what we have on our hands here, Ingon. It's just it's a battle. This one, I mean, it's from start to finish so far, at least, 12 and a half minutes in, where it's been just team fight and skirmish after skirmish. And it's still, at this point, even a coin flip, on who's going to be able to get the total victory in terms of the game-defining team fight. And as we look at the goal difference, you can see where things are kind of falling into place and falling behind from roll to roll here.
Yes. Clearly, the jungle lane matchup King Kong has been dominating it, edging out a Demon. No, it's Demon Kite actually.
Oh,
the
Phantom
gold lane
Slash
matchup
အလကား
is
ပေးလိုက်
actually
ရင်
Keller who has been
ဘာဖြစ်ပါ
dominating again. They're able to push
formation
again
တစ်ခုပေါ့
another
ပုံ
turret
ရရ
up
ပါနော်
top,
ဟုတ်
just
လို့နေနဲ့
increasing
let's go
the
Okay.
space
Two
created
Jarvis
for
at the
Fnatic
SQ1
Onyx
ပြီးသွားပြီ
as we approach the second Lord. It will respawn in 5 seconds. And now in terms of answering or in terms of
friends.
counterattack, Aurora,
ဘာတွေ
they
ဆက်
have
လုပ်မ
the
လဲ
kits to do that. Again, Raging Sandstorm for Edward must
Okay
be
immortal ထိတာ
crucial.
blue scope
They have the opportunity to counterattack with that ultimate and let Renegade just
Lot
start
of size
things off
here,
with
dude.
the Earth Shatter
Nice, full.
onward the Flicker combination. But the problem is it's also Super Friends doing the same thing.
Exactly.
But in this case, he opted for the internal guard. So let's see how crucial, how things will go down in this second Lord. Because both of these teams, 5v5, are ready to
oh my
engage.
god
Fnatic Onyx making sure to zone out Aurora. And now, we've been seeing Kirk, the Kirk attack. The Kirk attack.
The Kirk attack.
Started
attack.
2
Nice.
consecutive clashes with the crucial
That's
final
nice
slash
to go
flicker
down.
combination. And with his kits available, man, oh man, you can see Fnatic Onyx just really waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Renegade as well. Using the conceal Lord, they're gonna hold it
Kirk!
at half health for now.
Oh
They're
my
gonna
God,
initiate right
David
there. They
Demon
take
shut
out
out
Demon
Chaka,
Kite.
yeah.
That was the perfect target to deal with. And now Renegade gonna be next. Has to pop the primal wrath
my
when he
God,
goes
yeah,
down as
yeah,
well.
like that,
And they just fall
let's go
apart.
ခုန
Rora
Lumos ကိုကြည့်ရ
on
flicker
the
ရပြီးတော့
retreat,
Keller အဲ့ဒီ
running away
ဖလစ်ကာထပ်
from
ပေးလိုက်
F
လာ
Nut.
တယ်ဗောနော်
Man, that was a
King Kong.
tough position to be in for Demon Kite.
You know, this is the 2 consecutive times we've been hyping up Kirk, and right after we hype up Kirk, Kirk does something amazing. If you look at the previous clash, there were 2 Aurora members in front of him, but what he did instead was cast the final slash flicker in to Demon Kite,
You said it.
which
Kirk
was
attack.
the perfect target. Man,
โอ้
He's an
လာ
architect of
တော့
himself, man. He's
ကျွန်တော်အဲ့တော့
what
ကော
a
မျက်
play.
စိ
He's
ကြားနေ
been, and the thing is, that was amazing there.
yeah,
But Kirk has been doing
Do you
that
recall
work.
it
He's
on
been
the-
putting in that kind of effort this entire game.
yeah. Even entire season, that's why they're 10-0. That's why they're this close to tying up
Oh,
the record.
Oh,
And look
shoot.
at King Kong.
Demon Kite
What the
can't
hell,
even
bro?
get a moment to breathe. And there's the
Yeah,
kick
maybe.
again
Nice.
into the team, and they're collapsed down. Once again, dealing with it. Lord's still going to be up as well.
Oh, shit.
Domang part of the already gone as well, and now they just
Well,
continue
I'll
to
let me
get
know.
body after body. They're trapped under the crystal, and that
Oh,
looks
it'll
like
go
it's
your
going to be it
mind,
as
boy. I'm gonna
FNOP
go giant.
will take game number 1.
If you need a definition for dominance and excellence, look no further.
Kirk, which I think has a positive win rate. Let me double check that for you.
It sounds like it. It does sound like it's gonna have a
Oh
positive.
yeah, the
win rate.
only time Kirk played it, it won.
There you go.
So it's undefeated.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines needs to acknowledge that the early to mid game potential overall is quite good. I mean, that is what you
အဲ့ကျွန်
always
တော်
get
ပို့
with
သွားတယ်
Fanny.
ဘာမှမဖြစ်
So again, the pressure will fall into Brusco and Super
Without
Friends and
that,
how
yeah,
well
yeah.
they counter the
ဒါသာကြည့်နေ
of
ကြောင်လာ
Aurora.
ခဲ့မယ်
And how well Domi can farm up, because that's a problem. Can
Oh.
he even farm against a lineup like this?
Yeah, it might be tough for the Beatrix.
Oh my goodness, I'm not sure, man. If not, looks like they have the bag. Let's see our casters think the same.
Will Edward and Aurora MLBB prevent Fnatic Onyx from tying up
Welcome
the
to
longest
Mobile
winning
Legends.
streak in MPL, which is 11 series? Or will Fnatic Onyx breeze through the regular season as they take on Aurora MLBB? Welcome to game number 2 of our highlight match. This is Ingan and Naisu. A lot at stake here for Fnatic Onyx, not just the record, but also securing the upper bracket seed for their playoffs berth. And for Aurora MLBB, I don't think they want the Fnatic Onyx to just, you know, be safe like that.
I was going to say, you don't think they want them to get the record?
Yeah.
I think anybody wants to be that team that says, we stopped Fnatic Onyx Philippines from getting the record.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the streak enders, the streak breakers. And it looks like Aurora, with their current lineup, they're going at it with the Demon Kite Fanny again. And so far, Demon Kite has been performing well with this Fanny. But Renmar and Rockart mentioned a while ago that you have to match up the aggression of the opposing jungler to make this Fanny work. And so far during game number 1, I think Demon Kite did a very good job with the aggression. And what can you say about this Kirk Grok pick? Renmar mentioned that he only used this once, 100% win rate, up against what do you call this? Terizla Renegade.
You know,
Edward.
And that's the thing. Like, there's Kirk on the Grok and the XP, And then there's Renegade on the Terizla roam, right? And Edward obviously went with the Edith. Oh, King Kong could be in trouble here. Goes in with a shadow kill, tries to get away, but won't. It's Renegade on the roam Terizla that gets that first blood.
Okay, so I do agree. Wait, Bruce, go. Okay.
He's delaying him.
So we did a switcheroo, apparently, for both of these teams. When you thought the Terizla and the Grok and the Cho would be the XP laners, they're the roamers, Naisu. Okay, so this is to ensure that both of these teams will match up the aggression of each other at the same time. Fast rotation. Although Renegade, Terizla, we all know that the thing that lacks with Terizla is not sustain. It's the mobility. What can you say about that?
And that's what I'm saying. Like I know probably this has been seen a couple times, right? Roam Terizla. But man, he is just so slow. Like he's just, you know, that when you've played the Terizla, you guys know what I'm talking about. But that's besides the fact. All Renegade really needs to do is get the set potential off. The thing is once he has the flicker, he's always going to be able to do that. And, you know, that's the same thing. Whether he was playing the Edith or not, just like we saw previously in Game 1, that's something you can always approach with. Now, the other side where Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they have Kirk even on this Grok, where typically you don't see too many players pick up the Grok and put him in the XP lane, but it works. It has been, you know, in the side lanes before. And it can work. And now Demon Knight King Kong going 1 versus 1. Gets hit by the Spear Destruction. Good thing for Kelra to show up. Stops from any further damage being done.
Okay, TKO. But that's unfair because Kelra was there hitting with the Spear of Destruction, leaving Doming open here to dominate the gold lane. And again, going back to your point. Wait, what was your point?
I was just saying that basically you're going to have this switch up between the XP laners and the roamers, which we initially thought.
Yeah. Okay, I remember my point. You can let Renegade do the setups again because Edward will be the main frontliner here. Again, you know the passive of the Edith. He wants to soak up the damage right before casting the Primal Rife, wants to make sure that his stacks are there to ensure a lot of damage coming in from Edward, the Magic Burst. So right now, Renegade, apart from game
we got
one,
Fanny
can
and
focus
Demon
on
Knight.
that, his main role, which is to do the setups, and as much as possible, pop the purifies of Super Prince and Kelra.
I don't know what the fuck you like.
You know, it's okay.
I
know that the composition probably threw you off, you know, too, a little bit, but we're here at this point, and now they finally start up the first turtle. This turtle's been up for a while, so they're finally going to go for it. Looks like Roar's just going to grab this one. There was a lot of focus there, too. You see Kelra pushing it. Top side gets a ton of
So, in terms of aggression, we've been saying that Fanny needs to match up the aggression of King Kong. So far, he has done a good job. They do pick up a kill onto King Kong 0-1-0. So far, a better start, a cleaner start for Aurora. But again, Fnatic Onyx, with the current lineup, they can turn things around. He doesn't have the wild charge flicker combination. It's the same thing. It can come out of nowhere. It can come out unexpected, and it can be It can be casted on the right target. And we've seen during neutral objectives, Kirk has his eyes set on Demon Kite. Now, even if this is a Fanny, he's gonna make sure that Demon Kite doesn't have a chance to retry all neutral objectives.
Yeah, this is a very different pace.
Demon Knight, King Kong shut down.
That wasn't a different pace. He gets deleted very quickly. 2 deaths now sitting on King Kong.
A good catch there for Edward using the onward. There's no escape for King Kong with the Hayabusa. 0-2-0. And now extending their lead to 1.2k as Kirk works on the bottom lane. And again, Fnatic Onyx gameplay. We've been saying this a lot of times. At the moment you thought the game would extend because it's pound for pound. It's a very close fight. Fnatic can just literally extend the lead, make it wider as Kirk casts the wild charge onto Demon Kite. So that can happen with the current lineup of Fnatic Onyx. So Aurora really needs to watch out for the outplay potential that Sonics can give them.
This, you know, Kirk was really trying to push that lane in, but they ended up getting, you know, Aurora got the tier 1 turret on top, and so they dealt with that. So they're starting these slow steps. And what I was saying before all that happened, we saw King Kong get taken out, was the fact that this pacing of Game 2 is much different from Game 1, where it was just constant fighting back and forth. But even this time around, Fnatic Onyx Philippines a little bit slower. Edward taking the brunt of the damage. Now they jump in. Demon Kite goes in for Super Prince. Pick up that kill. Turtle's still going to be for the taking here. And
King Kong survive ဖြစ်တယ်နော်ဒါ retribution ပါဖို့အတွက်
looking for their own angle.
Conceal.
Brusco using the conceal, just bombing the weave
Oh,
through. We'll go ahead and just back off.
သူတို့တာတာမရှိတော့ဘူး
Meanwhile,
ကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့ ball တာပါချိုးပြီးတော့သူတို့နဲ့
and they trade it.
golden
The
step အထ
turret
ပ်ပြီးသွားတယ်
for the
wow
Turtle.
Trade for a turtle. Turret for a turtle. And this is why Aurora is one of those teams that are confident enough to pick up a Fanny first pick. They know
Nice.
that even though there are a lot of counters to the Fanny, with the proper hands, in the hands
Nice.
of Demon Kite, it can easily dominate.
Fanny.
And up against Fnatic
Bro.
Onyx, they're just showing their composure. Despite down
Whoa,
1-0,
whoa,
but
whoa,
look at
whoa,
this
whoa.
Demon Kite!
Again, hunting for Kirk. Great wall there.
Mighty
Guardian's
wow.
Barrier laid down by
Yeah.
Kirk. And you saw the recall come out too. He knew. He knew it was going to be fine.
Literally, he built a wall to separate the two.
And that's a hard no right there.
Hard
No.
No, you just can't burst me down again. I'm the Kirk attack. I can build
through
anything.
MBM
Even
this
Kite's
page
stats
Demon
in
Knight
terms
has
of
played
using the
28
fan
game with them
throughout his
Damn,
MPLP's
five.
career has
Passing
a win
worry.
rate of
Worry 25
78%
fan, you know,
in
right?
8 games. So
Yeah.
if he wins this game, that makes it 9. How many percent is that, Naisu?
Please don't ask me to
Okay.
math.
I should have asked Renmar.
You asked Renmar that.
But so far, so good. Again, 2-0-0 start. Although he wasn't able to burst down Kirk, given that that's a Grok. Given that that's a Grok, that's scarier because
Nice.
one more hit
Yep.
can burst
Okay.
down the probable
huh?
tankiest hero of the Sonics at this point, 8 minutes in.
And so that's
GG.
the thing.
Don't
Anytime
mind
you see
it.
a Fanny drafted, wherever it may be around the world, it's always going to work out well if you get this lead, but then eventually
Don't mind.
it will
Don't mind it.
fall
Tower
off
ya live
to
ဖြိုတယ်
an
ပေါ့နော်
sense. I
ဒီ
mean,
နေ့
that is
ဟို
usually
ပါ
the case
ပေါ်
for
လင်း
obvious
ပတ်စာပါပြီး
aspects
ပြီးတာ
to an extent
အော်လိုင်းစက္ကန့်တော့ထပ်လာယူနေ Rora Gaming နဲ့တောက်လျှောက် push နေသူတို့နေ
heroes that you always
ဒီမွန်နိုင်
constantly
pressure
have
ပေး
to
နိုင်တော့ပေါ့
kind of
ဟိုကဟာရာဘူဇာခေါင်းမထောင်ကြီး
check to make sure that you're getting those purple buffs and everything else, because if it goes to the late game, and I know we don't,
သူစလိုက်
How's
ပြေး
that?
Oh
Whoa,
my god King Kong
that's what I'm saying. Look at the burst damage early on in this point mid-game.
ဟိုဟာရာဘူဇာဘယ်လိုပြောက်သွားလဲ
Didn't even give enough time for King Kong to use the quad shot or Wiggy
Bro
shot
နေ
to
နဲ့
kill.
နည်းနည်းဆန့်စီနဲ့ခုံတာမဟုတ်
Instantaneous
ခုံတဲ့အချိန်
burst.
မမီလိုက်ရတာ
Oh, here's the fight back though. They already dropped the Eternal
Wait.
Guard. Spirit
And
Destruction
yet,
used
let's
as
go
well.
send out,
UA's
let's go
gone
send
out
out,
the
let's send
picture.
you. Oh my god,
Calva
yeah, I
forces
can't
Demon
be
Kite
yo.
back, and now
I don't want
Super Prince
anything.
on the run
Kelra?
from Renegade, just one hit away. We'll go ahead and regen up, and now Kelra, as
They're
well
on
as
base.
Super Prince, trying to just get out of dodge.
Oh, my
Kelra
true.
in a bad
Broken
spot.
breast
Will
can't
throw
be.
the spears,
Boom.
but it's not going to be enough as Super Prince also goes down. Kelra just waiting, trying to buy time, but Domain will pick up the
nice.
kill.
Oh,
And now the Lord for the taking.
and even though Kellera bought enough time, King Kong's gonna let the First Lord go in the
ရာဘူ
hands
ဇာ
of
နေတောက်လျှောက်
Aurora.
ခံရတော့နော်
A
သူ
good
ပန်းမရ
pickup
တော့
for Aurora, good initiation as well.
ဒီဘယ်လောက်
Right
နောက်
now,
လာ
their
သူနေ
composure is
303
really
ပေါ့နော်
speaking
သူက
for itself.
ဒီမွန်နိုင်နေ
Despite
တောက်
a
ခေါ်
lot
တော့
of
ဟာရာဘူဇာ
high
ရှက်တောင်ချတာ
mobility
level
heroes for the
12 to
side of
13
Fnatic Onyx, they're focused on their goal, which is to bring down Sonics first before getting into the Lord.
Yep.
And with that kill on
ဒါသူ
Kellera,
တို့ရဲ့
they were
grow
able
ရဲ့
to
wall
shut
charge
down the
ကိုထွက်လာတယ်
possibility
ဆိုတော့
of a
နော်
trade
သူ
of a
ကြည့်တော့
turret up top. Now Fnatic Onyx with that clash, they didn't
Right,
have a trade
nice.
coming into that First Lord.
They did not. And, you know, part of this, too, is you're seeing it where when Fnatic Onyx approaches those,
Feel
those
rough, bro.
objective
Oh,
areas, you know, they're having a hard time at really
ဒိုမန်နေတယ်ဒဲမ
looking
များဆုံးပေးထားအောင်နော်
for
ဂို
the
ရစီ
angles
က
that
လည်းဒို
they
မန်
need or
များ
the
ဆုံးပဲ
setup that they need.
Left
And
hand don't
it's a matter of time for them to build up to get to where they need to
တော့
be.
ရ
And
တော့ image
Fnatic
ဟို
Onyx has been in that
Holy
position
God,
before
Foggy
where
out
they've
here,
had
yeah.
to get to the late game, and that's what I was saying before the fight broke out, where
ဖိုဂီ
you
ဆို
know,
တော့ဘာမှ
you
တော့
get
မ
to
ဟုတ်
a
ပါ
point
ဘူး
where
ဒါပေ
you
မဲ့
stall things out, you
Nah,
get
they
to
won't.
the point
Don't hold
where
it.
you build up the items that you need. Also on the defensive side, because like we saw, Demon Kite right now, his damage is insanity. It is literally big damn, and you can't really do much against it.
Okay, Red J with the conceal. We haven't
Okay.
seen a lot of crazy penalty zones so far because
Ah,
honestly,
this is
Demon
the
Kite
trouble.
just finishing the
Bro.
job even before the clashes
Wow.
pursues.
သူရှိ
So
က
right
တော့
now
ကောင်းနေ
they
ဟန်
have
ပြီ
to watch out for the counter.
ဒီ
the
position ကနေ
counter
ပြီးတော့ land တာဝ
setups,
နဲ့လားရှိ
the
တော့တာဝ
potential
ကျိုးတော့မှာ
setups
လား
that Aurora can do. Again, the flicker will be up in 40 seconds,
Right.
but the penalty zone is there, as well as the Earth Shatter and Primal Wrath
ဟိုခွဲလာပြီ
combination
ဖလူ
from
ရတော့မ
Edward.
ကြံတော့ပါ
But
ဘူး
look
ဒီည
at Brusco's position. Trying to gather a lot of
Oh, yeah,
information here
image.
for
Oh,
Fnatic
the Dino
Onyx.
piece in
Kellera
there,
works
yeah,
on
the
the
first
Lord.
floor,
This is
so-
the beauty of having Demon Kite
ဒီကဝါ
snowball
သ
in
လောက်
the
ပဲရှိရ
fan.
ဘရစကိုတော့မ
They
စောင့်
didn't
နေပါ
even
နော်
have time to
You know,
think
vision
about
ပေးနိုင်မ
doming.
လား
It
မပေးနိုင်ပါဘူး
gave
ပေးနိုင်တယ်
enough
ပြီးတော့
space
မှာဒါ
for doming to just really work on the turrets, get a couple of kills, literally 2-0-1, and at the same time prevent them from focusing on
Yeah,
going up
Hobby.
against this Beatrix.
nice
Oh, look at this too.
ဒေါ်လာရဲ့ Moscow skin ပိုင်းဆိုင်တာ
You had Kirk there on that backside
တ
for a
နည်းနဲ့
little bit.
အားစား blue ဘတ်ထပ်ယူလိုက်ပြီ
Waiting patiently, so
Play
really
out
just
this
kind of
beer.
giving information,
ယူ
but
ဒီ
then
ထပ်တည်
they
လိုက်ပြီ
call it off. You
Okay,
thought
just like
that
in the chow
maybe
sit
they
down,
would
no?
make an attempt there, but they decided to
still are,
not, you
still
know,
are.
and Renegade does spot Brusco out finally, so FNOP's
Game
just
here,
back in that
yeah.
position where they can buy, you know, they can work around this about a minute till this Lord is up, but then they might have to face the challenge of, do we actually try to contest this, or do we just wait in our base? Are we prepped for a actual base defense? 'Cause if
Mojo
you
နဲ့
look at the
record
lineup,
ကျွန်
it's
တော်
not
တော်တော်
bad
လေး
in
ကိုကြာတယ်
terms
နော်
of defense and
Mojo လေးနဲ့
clearing,
တော်တော်
you
လေး
know,
တန်
the
တယ်အဲ့
waves
တော့ဘောလေးက
pushing in later on.
I think if you're not planning to contest, at least go for a trade. They have capabilities of the split push. Again, Kelra has the Moskov. And with the aid of Brusco, just making sure that no one is there in the brushes. They can actually go for a potential split push. Not for towards the inhibitor turret, but just take out outer turrets. And looking at the gold
Nice.
established here by Aurora, Doming currently
Okay.
leads all with a 9k gold lead. This is the problem if you
တော့
have a
10 second
snowball
1 second ဆိုထပ်ထွက်တော့မှာ
you
Or
really
a mine, maybe?
can't notice Doming just really farming up, clearing out all the outer turrets. And when a clash ensues, a perfect setup from Renegade can be paired
They
up
start on
with
here,
the
right?
Nibiru's Passion or even the bazookas from
Moscow
the
out man သူ
Spectres.
spear နဲ့
Can
တက်လာ
deal
ကို plan
enough
ချတာနဲ့တူတယ်
damage to burst down Fnatic Onyx and eventually give Aurora the win as they work on the slow, the 5.2k gold lead. Renegade eventually going to spot up where King Kong is hiding Brusco. Just really waiting for the perfect opportunity. He did pop his conceal here.
Yeah, they're
Brusco
using
သူ
a
နေ
lot.
တဲ့ position
Counter
တော်တော်လေး
does
ကြုံနေ
pick
တော့
up
funny
the
brush က
down
ခင်ဗျာ
there.
Oh my
Steve
god
Kanye
okay
again
ဘာမှလုပ်ချင်မရှိ
finds Brusco.
Moscow ရဲ့ spear ရတယ်လွယ်
And
တာ
so
စား
FNOP
သူတို့တွေ
really
လည်း
trying to
တော့
delay
လောက်တော့မယ်
things and
ဘာမှ
pick
မ
the
ဖြစ်
fight,
ဘူး
but unfortunately for them, Aurora just comes out swinging and they jump in. Edward,
Edward,
the one to
Laura,
get
yeah,
the
he
secure
got
the
it.
Lord
Grown
now, and
damage
they
la
bring
piya
out
no?
the fight. Kirk
PvP
goes down
yeah,
with the
how was
push
that?
out in the base. Kalra just going for that backdoor play.
Nice.
Won't be able to push it in
သူ
completely.
ပြေသွားပါတော့
And
အဲ့
right
ကော
now
ပြီးလောက်တာ
it's 2 down for FNOP. King Kong on the hunt.
အဲ့ဒါက ultimate ပေါင်းနေတော့တော်တော်လေးတန်တော့ဒါသူ့မှာရှိရရှိတာတော့ကရှိရရှိရ
By Aurora.
And this is
I'll
what we
channel
were
it on.
saying. Kelra
ဒါတော့သူ့ဘောမှာမူ
needs
တ
to
ည်ရ
look
အောင်
for that
ultimate
trade
ပါပြ
because
သူနေ
in
တယ်
terms of
တပိုက်ကောဖြစ်ဖို့
5v5
လို့တည်ရလीနော်
during that Lord pit, during that Lord clash, they're really not going to have a good chance or a better chance out-retrying or out-sustaining the damage coming in from Aurora. So it was a good trade at this point for Fnatic on to just go instead for the push. The Spear of Destruction did not hit, and even if it did hit, I doubt that Kelra was going to cast it again, because that's really crucial. And that's really, you know, detrimental if ever they pick off Kelra once again. They're going to need
ဟုတ်နေ
Kelra,
တယ်
the gold
အခုက
standard,
လောရတာတော့
coming
သူနေ
into
နဲ့
this
side push လုပ်ပြီး
base
BOD တော့ပြီး
defense.
သွားရင်
Lord marching in the bottom
Lord
lane.
on
They
that,
still
sila.
have 5. In terms of clear wave potential, they can clear the wave easily and go for the counter engage if ever Kirk or Brusco manages to pick off someone. But Aurora just managing the waves perfectly here. 2 waves gonna approach the base of Fnatic Onyx as they work on the bottom lane turret.
So already waiting.
Oh my
There's
god,
the
to the
penalty
right,
zone
to the
come out
right.
from Renegade.
Nice.
Eternal
Ini
Guard and
tawa
everything
only
else
ammo
being
sena ne
thrown
bono.
at 'em. Still have
Bro,
to deal with
bro,
the
need a
Lord
white
as they
charge
die
up
on the
here,
base. They could be a
Oh my
little
god
too
base
late
ya design
as they
ပြီးတော့
go
Oh my
for it.
god game 3
And we will go
Yeah,
for
don't
game 3 as Aurora takes game 2.
Let's go
And just like their first meeting, these 2 teams
Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Okay.
Yes, their line
Oh,
of rating
John
is
King Kong,
under
yeah.
crowd control. The
Dang.
push potential is great.
Valentina
But the fact that the early to
တော့
late
ဟဲ့
game
လေးပါလာပါ
potential,
နော်
damage
ကယ်လိုရာရဲ့
potential,
ကျွန်တော်တို့ Patrick
survival
ကယ်လိုရာ Patrick ကလည်းတော်တော်လေးကောင်းပါတယ်ချိန်က
romping them.
ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီဘက်က Alice
That's
ပုံ
where
Alice
things might go
I
shaky
mean
here. If ever FNOP wins, again, Kirk and
Alice
Brusco
တဲ့
come
လုံး
out
ကြီး
like
ရ
crazy.
Nolan နဲ့
Let's see if they can
ဟော
pop
ဒီဘက်မှာ
off
ခါလက်တဲ့
again here as we go
ဘယ်
to
တီး
game
ထားတယ်
3
Okay
with Nice
Okay
winning.
the streak and the longest winning record for MPL Philippines hangs in the balance. Hangs in these 2 teams. This is game number 3 of our highlight match. Aurora MLBB up against Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Join with me again is Naisu Ingan here.
အော်
And
မှာ
looking at the
အဲ့
matchup,
ချောင်း
Renmar
အောင်
and
ESP ပဲ
Rockhart
damage
mentioned
နဲ့ဆော့ပါလား
they
ဟဲ့
did a switcheroo.
ကျော်စရာဘူးနော်
Domin
ချောင်း
picked
damage
up
နဲ့
a
ဆော့ပြန်
Killer
တယ်ကျွန်တော်
Hero
မ
and
ကြည့်မကြည့်ရ
Kelra
တော်တော်
picked
ကြာ
up
နေ
a
ပါတော့
Falcon
နေ
Hero. What can you say about that?
5ဖြစ်တဲ့ချောင်းလေးတယောက်လား
You know what? At this point, I've loved pretty much every single draft throughout the series. And if that happens, it's okay. Do a little switcheroo. Make
Let's go
things
level
work.
1 HP တော့လောက်ကိုတက်အောင်
So
ပြန်လိုက်
far, both gold laners have been
Oh,
big
to the
parts
net.
of the
Uber
wins
Lisa
throughout
Ulai.
this Super Friends.
ဟောပြီးထုတ်တော့ရန်
A
ဖြစ်
lot
အောင်
of
မယ်
hits here,
ဘယ်သူစားမ
a
လဲ
lot
ကော
of
ပြီးထုတ်
damage, but
Baka
you know
Luffy
what
Bobby
I'm
Sala,
hoping
easy
on
guy.
is that we get a similar game in this game 3 to what game 1 was for the most part.
the very aggressive fast rotation.
ဝချင်း1 minute
Fights everywhere.
Fights everywhere.
Hyper
and
ရဲ့
it-
level 4ရောက်တဲ့
it
ချိန်
actually
တစ်ခုပေါ့
happens.
နော် Oh my god ဟဲ့
Aurora's
ဟဲ့
lineup, speaking of a
Perfect.
fight.
Ooh flicker ကပေးလိုက်ရအောင်နော်
Super Prince is like, maybe just for safety I should. That's
ဘာလို့တော့ဘာ
I
လို့
don't
တော့
know. That's some pretty big confidence there. I would say even with the lightning bolt recalls coming out, Renegade tempted, but yeah, he's got to back off.
Wow.
This is what Renmar was saying.
ပြ
the
flicker ပေးလိုက်ရ
early
နည်းနည်း
game
တော့မတန်ပါဘူး
potential
နော်
and the fast
Makelo
rotation
Anine.
of Aurora just
Patrick
might be too much to handle for Fnatic Onyx. They
Nice.
can end this really early around the
Domain ကို
11 or
pressure ပေးနိုင်မ
13
လားသူ
minute
နေနဲ့
mark. And looking at the roamer,
Patrick
specifically
got
for
really loud,
Fnatic
nice.
Onyx, that's a jawhead. We've been saying this numerous times that if
Don't see
the
what I see. Come on,
jawhead
man.
is again on the receiving end, it could be detrimental for the streak of Fnatic Onyx. And that's not hard to happen for Aurora, because again, looking at the line of their early game though, and again, their escapability is there with Renegade having the Matilda as well.
Yeah, part of this whole thing is
Well,
again on the
I
way
need
to the roamers
to wear
as it
up beat
has
on,
been,
no?
but right now
ဒီဘက်မှာတာတရား
objectively,
လုံးနေ
FNOP's just going to go ahead and start things up. Not sure if Aurora can do much as King
Got
Kong
you.
gets
Nice.
the turtle, first one of the game, locked in. So right now,
That
leading with an objective so
challenge.
far, but still
သူတို့အနေနဲ့တော်တော်လေးအလုပ်လုပ်ရမှာဒီဘက်ကကျွန်တော်သိသလောက်ပြောရမယ်ဆိုရင်တော့
Good blitz
သူ့အနေနဲ့
to take for Fnatic.
pressure လေးတော်တော်များပါ
Diversion!
ဒုံကြီး diversion ကြလိုက်ရက်ကွက်လိုက်ကြီး
Welcome
Oh my
to
God.
the jungle, says Aurora with a diversion. What a play. That's not something you want to
ဟို
walk
ကြီးပြောက်ကြော
into.
ကြီးမြေပေါ်ကနေပြောက်လာတယ်မသိလိုက်လား what the fuck ဘာကြီးလဲဆို
Just literally giving
Right,
balls.
diversion.
So both
Okay,
Cole and Henry goes in
Kara.
raiding Sandstorm.
Just a
တမ်စ
second
လိုနေ
off.
ဝင်လာအိမ်ပြန်ရောက်သွားတ
Kara
ယ်ဗော
was
နော်
able
nice
to evade that, and just literally Aurora playing mind games right now, giving the turtle uncontested.
Let's go.
When you know that Aurora wasn't gonna make a
Tingin na
trade,
online na push
they
ni.
made something happen.
Oh.
And with the Louis
Nalo
pick that
diversion ni
Redmar
Chan, push na
almost
po kauna,
forgot
no?
about during the drafting phase, they made it happen. It's gonna go on to Yue. I know. It went on to Demon Kite, the
Yep.
perfect man to get the kill. Really wanting a snowball for the Snowland. And again,
Eh,
this is where
let's
the
go.
problem
Tu ni
is
tao
here
ko
for
kitchen
Fnatic
kilo
Onyx.
asin yun ang dili pa
How can you catch someone?
Pang
Oh,
yaw
you
la
have
bi
a
chong ne
flying
bu kim lai
Renegade.
nice
He's gonna walk
နောက်
into
ဒီက
it.
kick ပေးလိုက်
Diversion again,
damage
gonna
ကလည်း
be
ကွက်တိပဲ
used. They find in
diversion တော့
two.
ကြာလိုက်ဒီ
Now
ဘက်ကနေ
Kelra
ပြီးတော့
could be in trouble
Demon
as they
Knight.
collapse
Okay,
down.
Kelra
King
shut down
Kong
ချလိုက်
rejoined the fight. Demon
Then
Knight
tamo
could
mo
go
dali
down
tabi
to
chala
the
mein.
plains also to follow up. Domain
oh my
goes
god
back.
တုံးမဲနေတယ်လွတ်သွားရပါတော့
Luckily escapes it,
Trolley.
but now on the board, FNOP with
ဘာဖြစ်
two.
တယ်လို့ပြောအောင်ပါ
You think that that was a good trade for Aurora. They got Kelra, the gold standard down, but in exchange for two, Renegade, Demon Kite
What,
was
buying
able
a
to pick
celebrity?
up a kill as well. But that's how you slow Demon Kite. That's how you slow him down. Just make sure to pick up an early kill onto this Nolan. Looking at the instant replay, that was a quick burst onto Renegade. Kirk heads up play, connecting the way of the dragon, and a good answer here with the diversion play coming in from Aurora. But here's the kick again from Kirk.
Kirk might have to deal with this. He goes to the turret, flickers too. Defensively, bobs and weaves, and will stay alive. The moves from Kirk, avoiding it all.
okay
That was close call.
legit
Once again from
Heh,
Kirk, still
they don't
deathless
need that
0-0-2. Off to a good start. Even if it's really active, making sure he doesn't go overextend and gets punished by Aurora. And this is the
Yan tu ne data
aggression
pero sa ni
we've been wanting to see.
Yo, hado
Look at
si Mena.
Edward already has the passive, is already
Nolan
mobile.
ni le
But Renegade with the guiding wind makes him more
King Kong.
mobile.
he's gonna
Imagine
do
that, just, flying around on literally what is
Yan,
supposed to be
Shabbat
what,
on
sand? Well, I guess
အော်လည်းမှာ
He's
free
literally
will အော်လည်းမ
Aladdin.
တွန်းထားပါဘူးသူတို့နေတာတယ်ပဲဒီတိုင်းပါပဲ
carpet around.
Yeah,
ဒီစီလေးစမယ်စင်းကောင်းနေတော့တက်နှစ်ချက်တော့ရိုက်ထားတယ်
Okay,
သိလား
so a while ago it was Fnatic Onyx with an uncontested turtle. but
Position
this
to
time
kuya ang
Aurora
jude.
wants to make sure
Tira
that
pa
they're
de phone
in
mo
the
plan
picture.
chale.
This time circling Ego.
အောင်နေနဲ့ရှက်တောင်းချကြလား no သူနေလွတ်လွတ်တော့မနော်ခါလက်ဆမ်စတောင်းရှိအောင်ဒီဘက်ကရီပါဖို့တဲ့မကြည့်အောင်လို့ space ကတော့အများကြီး create ပြီးထား
The Raging Sandstorm
Oh
too.
my god,
Edward
Raging Sandstorm
already using
baby guy.
his. King Kong half health. Gonna
Go
be
ahead
very
and
tough to get
ခုနိုင်ကို
into
လမ်းမ
the
ကြည့်ရပါ
zone.
ဘူး
Demon
retribution
Kite
okay
zoned
King
out
Kong နဲ့
though
retribution အောင်
himself
ပေါက်
as
သွားပြီ
King Kong
that's cool
will
သူတို့
pick
နေ
up
သူ
the
တွေနဲ့
turtle.
survive
Now Brusco gonna be in trouble as
sacrifice
Demon
လုပ်လိုက်
Kite
မယ်ပေါ့နော်
cleans up the
သုံး
kill.
နိုင်ပါပဲ
So they
So-
find an exchange again.
That was the trade
Kara
Fnatic
နဲ့
Onyx
ဒီ
was willing to do.
ဟို
Zone out the unstoppable force plus ejector combination to
ကိုလင်း
make
နဲ့
sure
ကိုလင်း
Demon
ပြလိုက်
Kite
offlane
was
ချောင်း
it
ချောင်းဘယ်လိုဆောင်းနေလဲ
near
ဆက်ကြည့်လိုက်
that
အောင်ချောင်း
turtle
damage
for
ဆောင်း
an
ပါ
uncontested turtle for King Kong.
Always
Still
going for
edging
damage,
out
guys.
the gold
Tu ne
being a
ne povi
bit for
fan din ne
Fnatic
bo, no?
Onyx, but this can
Ayun eh.
actually change if Aurora
တာကြီး family လည်း
continues
ဘာမှမ
their
ထူးပါဘူးသူနေ
early
နဲ့
game
မစ် game
aggression.
ကို
We've
ပြော
only
င်းကန်
seen one diversion
လင်း
there.
နေနဲ့ online
It is-
free ဆက်ပြီးရှင်းမယ်
Once
အပေါ်တက်လာမယ်ဟုတ်ပြီ
So
ဟုတ်ပြီ
you
Kara တီးရောတီးလားမ
Edward.
သိဘူးသူနေ player ၄ယောက်ကန်ခင်ဒီဘက်ကပြင် backup တော့ထပ်ပြီးကြလိုက်အောင်ဘယ်သူ
So
ပြန်
there
မလဲ
too, and actually in response, Domain flickers as well.
okay ပါ Valentina လည်း Samsung ယူထားပါတော့သူတို့
You know
Backline
what? I got what I wished for here, Ringan. I said I hope for
damn
like
it,
what we saw in game 1 so far so good.
Kill scoreboard. 6 minutes in.
Oh my god, Sam Strong တို့ save သွားတယ်ဒီမေးလေးမသိတာ Oh my god မှားပါပြီ Ranji တက်ပြီးပိတ်တယ် Edward ဟိုမလိုက်တင်တော့ဗောနော်
punished as he went in he thought he could clean it up but now
Okay George ကွက်တီဆောင်တယ်သူတို့ထပ်ပြီးကက်မှာ Kelra shut down ချပြီ
as Edward gets focused down and the guard's not going to be enough couple shots
Oh okay Kelra နဲ့ shut down တော့ချလိုက်ပြီ
Literal alley-oop
အင်းကောင်သူ့လူကပြောအောင်နော် Has score ပြီးသားပဲ
Another pick off here, 2-1-1-4, the gold standard with this Beatrix as they work on the top lane turret. And again, we've seen an almost kill on the Super Prince. The junglers are going at it right now.
Under the turret,
Some of the blade.
Demon Kite
Oh yeah, man, King Kong. Spike shot Demon Knight. Oh my god, Demon Knight spike shot တာ multi ဓာကြီးရောက်လာ Oh my god. Okay. Demon Knight ရဲ့ spike လေး pro လေးပြတာဒီမှာ kick နေတဲ့သူ့ကန်ကြည့်လဲတော့မသိဘူး
He's fine. Fight's still going to
Okay,
break out
Louis
as
you
well.
can လိုက်မယ် Louis ကတော့
Sound
purify တော့ပြီးလွတ်မလားမလွတ်ဘူး ကြောဟဲ့ကြီးကွက်တီပဲရောက်လာ
Unstoppable force that he is and now Edward
အင်းကောင်နဲ့ ultimate တော့မရှိဘူးနော် Oh my god နည်းနည်း damage ရှိမှာဟုတ်ကျွန်တော်တို့
And now it's Renegade trying to keep things together
ဒီလား
has to get out there as well waiting for Edward Demon Kite
Kelra okay sniper shot တော့ပြစ်လိုက်တာဒါဘာခါလက်ထိတော့အဲ့လိုအဆင်ပြေဘူးနော်ဒါ blue bat တော့ပေးရရပေါ်လမ်းမှာတော့ဒုံမန်းနေနဲ့ push တော့ push နေအဲ့ဒီဘက်မှာလည်းပြန်ပြီး link up push နေတော့ပဲလို့ပြောပဲရှိတယ်ပြောမှာ
Here comes the reinforcements.
Going for Brusco.
Okay,
Brusco takes a
Brusco,
couple shots.
ကျွန်တော် sniper နေတော့ Okay Demon Kite HP တော်တော်လေးနေသွားတယ်တော့ဟဲ့နေအင်ဂျင်တာထိုးပြီးပေါက်လိုက်တာပြီးသွားပြီဆောင်းနေတဲ့ G Queen တို့3ချက်ဘယ်လို kick မလဲ Nolan kick လိုက်တယ်ဒုံမဲတယောက်ပဲကြံခဲ့
Find a double for King Kong. 2 down for Aurora. And now Turtle for the taking as King Kong starts it up.
အဲ့ဒါလည်းစပြီးယူ
to
တော့မှတို့နေ
commend Kelra with that play. When Aurora was on the aggressive side, was on the offensive, Kelra made sure to hit Demon Kite with one sniper bullet, enabling Fnatic Onyx to go with the counter engage. And again, Kirk 006, he's always in the middle of Aurora to the point that you think he's part of that team. With his initiations, with his knockouts, making sure to stun Renegade despite the escapability that that Aurora has.
Demon Knight က trigger sniper မိတာကျော်ဟဲ့အင်ဂျင်တာ knock ပြီးသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာချောင်းက what တီးပဲလုံယူပြေးကြည့်လိုက်တာ
who hit him with a sniper.
ပြ main target မဟုတ်ဘူး Nolan kick လိုက်တာလုံရဟဲ့ရင်းကကြည့်တယ် player နှစ်ယောက် down လဲအချိန်မှာဒီဘက်ကဒုံမန်ကဘာမှလုံးမရဘူးသူက 1v5 ultimate ကြီးနဲ့ Edward ကိုရှိရနော်ဒီထဲမှာ
Every single time Aurora thinks that they have it in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay Sam Strong PB တမ်းမတော့ blade ထပ်ပြီးရအောင်မယ်
Trying to work through
Can I
this
have damage go?
Actually trying to
Oh
find
my god
Domeng.
King Kong to be a damage
1v2 waiting on the
Hey,
wins.
oh,
Brusco, there's the
yeah.
diversion though.
there
It's not King Kong.
ကြာလာပြီ
He spotted out 4 members here on the bottom side.
Okay,
He
Maltida
gets on
ultimate
out of
ပေး
there.
လိုက်ပြီ
Brusco now though unstoppable.
တော့ဟဲ့အင်ဂျင်တာထပ်ပြီးပေးလိုက်ပြီဒီဘက်မှာ
Toss over
ဒီတယောက်လည်းကွဲနေရပါတော့
Waiting for
ချောင်းနေတဲ့ကင်မလား
Kirk.
No
Kirk
no မကန်သေးမကန်သေး
finding Renegade has the shields that he needs and the backup to follow
တာတယ်
through. But now the
ဘလူးက
fight
ခိုးစား
once
နေဘလူးက
again
ခိုး
for
စားနေဘယ်သူရမလဲ
Purple
ဟာဘဘဘလူးရပါမယ် Okay link ပဲထည့်ရတာ nice
And man, the back and forth until this Lord comes up in 40.
Okay, friends, important to note, he has the diversion. They can make a quick play here to extend their lead. Clayton holding on to a 4.1k gold lead and looking at the items, clearly Kelra is outbesting Domeng right now with an almost 1k gold lead. Has the necessary items, even has the Sea Halberd to make sure there is no to negate the regen effects, the healing effects that Aurora, especially Renegade, has to offer. Here comes Kirk.
And also view gang back down Okay ဒီမနိုင်ကြာကြာလာ
that they have enough vision. Here comes the unstoppable force onto Yue. He's gonna pop his Purify.
Oh, there it is again. Under the turret,
Link
all
down
they
the blade
get
baby
split
da
off
yeah
from
oh
each
my god
other.
never play I'm
King
going to shut
Kong
down
under the turret finds a double. Meanwhile, they battle it out, but it's a huge trade in favor of FNOP. And now they'll work on the tier 2. Focusing down the mid lane, it's only Demon Kite for a little bit longer. 4 members still for FNOP, and the Lord is up.
That was a scattered clash, scattered play, but Fnatic Onyx made sure
Probably gonna be a bit
of those crowd control setups, there was one damage
Probably not
dealer
had the seconds
present
to
during the scrimmage. Up top, there was King Kong, working on the back line.
နည်း
And of
damage
course,
မဟုတ် link ပေးလိုက်တာ2ယောက်ကြာသွားတယ်
just really bursting
Oh, no,
down the
duduk ada
front
big
line
line
as
dia, no?
Aurora has to
Sama
offer.
sebelah
Look
Bima.
at what King Kong did here with the double, making sure to catch
အော်
Dom
damage
and
ကို
also
ဆော့သွားတယ်သူတို့အနေ
handing
နဲ့
him his first
ခု
kill.
နကကန်
And
ခဲ့ရမှာ
now
နော်
working on again the purple buff of Demon Kite, although he was able to secure it with the retribution. Now Aurora has to deal with the gold lead of the Sonics, has to deal with his Lord marching in mid. They do have one outer turret
တော့ရ
down
မ
the
နကွက်တ
bottom
ကွက်
lane.
သူနေ
But again,
damage ကို
Super
တစ်ခုပဲ
Prince
ထည့်
has the
ထားပါနော်
capability to get the diversion play. They can
damage ကိုကျွန်တော်
really,
penetration နဲ့ထွက်တဲ့ဟာပဲထည့်တာ
out
ကျန်တဲ့ဟာ
the first
define
lord.
တယ်ဆက်သွားတာ
How
သူ
they
နေ
deal with it again should be a quick lore to deal with. Holding
Huh?
on to the base turrets is
ကြော
all
က်
they
ကန်
want
ဖို့
to
ကြည့်
do.
နေလောကတော့ဒီတိုင်းဖြ
So
ည့်ရှင်း
Lord
ပြီးသွား
already
ဒီဘက်က
down. Aurora does that. They have enough mobility to move around the base as well, but the holy shields are all going to be popped here. So FNOP, even with a lead like this,
အော်ကောင်းတယ်လို့
will they
ဟုတ်
go ahead and force a fight?
အဲမိုက်တော့မိုက်တော့ပွဲရတော်တော်လေးညံ့
Kirk
တယ်
has the flicker available.
See?
Bruce
Abi?
as well concealed.
အောင်
Gonna
တို့
use
လမ်းကြည့်မ
fighting
လဲ
under the
ဘူလန်
turret
ကြည့်ချင်တာ
mid
သူနေ
lane.
နဲ့
Once again, that's trying to clear the waves out. They hold
Okay
on
သူ
to
နေ
mid
ဝေးကိုထပ်
turret
ပြီးရှင်းလိုက်
now.
တာနိုလန်
Kirk
ultimate
has to
ပြီး
get
သွားတယ်ပေါ့
out.
နော်
Still
အင်း
no
တစ်ချက်
turret,
ထိုး
no
လိုက်တာလန်းလန်း
pressure
လန့်နေ
just
ရပါ
yet.
သူတို့နေနဲ့
Aurora holds
ဘစ်ထရစ်က
on.
နဲ့လာတာဝါတစ်ဝက်လောက်ကြီး
Damage
ရောနေ
coming in from Kelra.
တော့မပေါ်
No
ခင်
mix.
သူတို့နေတဲ့ဒီ mega tower တစ်လုံးနှလုံးရသမျှ
One-fourth
လို
of
ချင်
his
နေ
health
ကြ
there.
ဘစ်ထရစ်
That
tower
was
တစ်
just
ဖြည်း
a
ဖြည်းချင်း
sniper
နဲ့ပဲ
coming in from Kelra as he works on the
Dude,
bottom lane.
I
Third is
wanna
important to
ပြီးအောင်
note.
မရှိအောင်တော့အဲ့ဒါတော့
Super Prince has the circling eagle. There's a
ဒီသူတို့နေ
diversion.
diversion ကြလာပြီနောက်ဘက်မှာကွက်တီပဲဘယ်သူကြည့်ဘက်ထရစ်ကိုလမ်းကြည့်ချင်တာကြောဟဲ့ကြီးဖြစ်နေ
Jumps in with the unstoppable
Let's go, let's
force,
go.
flickers
Oh,
out
ဘယ်သူကင်မလဲ
defensively.
မကန်သေးဘူး
And
သူ
now
နဲ့စိတ်ရှိရ
Renegade
link တမ်းမ
taking
ပ
a
လိုက်ချက်
ton
ပြီး
of
ကြာမှာ
damage. And there's
ဒီ
the
ကြဘူး
cleanup
guys
from
မ
King
ဖြစ်လို့ပါနော်
Kong.
ကန်ကောင်း
We'll be able to pick up Renegade, but still Aurora holding on to their base turrets for now.
That's again a crucial play from Fnatic Onyx. Brusco just making sure to out-sustain the damage.
ဘယ်လိုကြီးဒီအ
Coming
ပေါ်
in
လန်း
from
တာပြင်
five
သူနေနဲ့
members
အောက်လန်း
of
တာပါဆက်ပြီး
Aurora.
ချူရမယ်
The
လို့ရှိသေးတယ်
cleanup
ပေါ့
here from King Kong, from the Finch boys, making
အဲ့ဒီရ
sure
တော့များဟဲ့
to bring down
Oui.
the hitman, to bring down Renegade as Keller still works on
တော့
bringing
Not
this
the chance
bottom
to
lane
do it on my
inhibitor
tower.
down.
Slow
TV.
and steady, Kalra.
nice
Finally
link တမ်းမ
gets
တော့
it.
blade
They forced the fight
okay
under
သူ
it
နေနဲ့
all out. It's still
အိုး
King
ပလီယာတယောက်က
Kong.
ပါထပ်ပြီးပိတ်ပြီး
Picks
ထွက်သွား
up a
လိန်
kill
သွား
on
လိုက်တာကွာ
UA.
ဖေးရ
The
ဟေး
finesse
ပေါ်လန်းတာပါလဲ
from
ထက်ရ
King
ဒီ
Kong
လောပေါ်လာ
right
နဲ့
now
သူတို့
as
နေ
all
အန်
the
လို့ရ
base
ပြီပေါ့နော်
turrets go down.
AC ပဲ
Not
back
sure if
down
they
မယ်
can
သူတို့လိုချင်တဲ့
actually end the
objective တွေ
game,
လင်း
though.
ဆက်
Still
ချရင်
on
ထပ်
the
ပြီးပြီး
defense
မှ
they
တော့
go.
လား
Demon Kite on top. Super
Ooh.
Prince still fine, and they
Found
back
it.
off. So FNOP just
ဒီ
accomplished
ကော
that whole thing with just decisiveness, really.
သူက link scale
If
ပြ
you
သွား
want
တာ
to
နော်
talk
မိုက်တယ်
about
ကောင်းတယ်
close range, mid-range, long range, Fnatic has it all. Close range, there's King Kong just entering in with the Tempest of Blades, the Defiant Sword. Mid-range, of course, there's Super Prince with the bursting capabilities, and long range is Kelra. I didn't even saw Kelra use a different gun at this point. It's just literally the Nibiru. The Renner, I
The
mean.
Renner, yeah, he's just.
All throughout.
10 seconds
And
လော
you know
ထွက်တော့
what?
ပါ
When you have a jungler like King Kong right now in this
က
game who's just
Aurora fight
absolutely out of his
Fnatic on
mind.
နေ13 kill ထိ
Yeah,
လိုက်
that's
ထား
what
တယ်
you
ဗော
do.
နော်
You just let King
King
Kong
Kong
do his
တော်တော်လေး
thing,
spike
you
ဖြစ်နေ
know,
မှာအခုချိန်မှာ
and,
သူရဲ့
he's
He
far
do a
from
power
just
spike တစ်ခုလည်းဖြစ်ပါ
snowball
ဘာလို့ဆို
effect at
item
this
စုံပြီး
point.
သွား
So
ပြီ
if you're Aurora,
okay diversion information အပြည့်ရလာပြီသူတို့နေချောင်းတော့တွေ့တယ်
joining
ဂျိုဟတ်ကအလွတ်လိုက်ကြီး
side, and they are able
က
to
ရာလေး
find
အသက်ရှင်နေ
Kirk.
ကရာလမ်းပြီးကြည့်ရ
Kong might be a little bit too
Ooh,
late for
shut
the
down.
fight, but Edward
Link
finally
ကြလာ
goes
ပြီဗော
down
နော်
as well. One for
ပေါင်း
one
နေတော့
so
စိတ်ရှည်ရ
far.
တွေ့တွေ့ချင်းဒီတိုင်း
King
ဘလိုင်း
Kong
ဝင်
might
တိုင်း
give
မရှိ
their
ဘူးဝိုင်း
call.
ပြီး
They
ကိုလမ်း
go
ပြီး
and
ကြည့်ရသူ
crash
နေတယ်
down, try to
ကား
cut
လို့
off
စင်ပြီးဆုံး
Aurora
ကော
on the
ကောင်း
defense.
ပြီးသွားပြီ
They're gonna
တ
find
မော
one
ဒဘလိတ်
touch
ပေးမယ်
place
ဒီ
to
မို
get
နိုင်
on
ရှောင်းချဖို့မိမလား
Renegade. Gets
no
the double. Now
He
look
got it,
for
Demon Knight.
Demon
Bye
Knight.
bye.
He wants the kill, and he'll get
triple
the
kill လေးပါ
triple.
တိုက်ပလိုက်တယ်ဟဲ့
King
ဘယ်
Kong
ပြေးနေရလဲ
once
တာကြီး
again
ဆို
11-0-2 on this Ling, and as it's a wipeout, FNOP
မတည့်ရပြီ
will
လေးပါ
get
တိုက်ပလိုက်ပါနော်
another notch
ကဲ
on the
GG
streak
guys
for season 14 as they take the series.
တော်လေးကောင်းပါ
And this run from the Sonics officially tied the best run that Blacklist had in Season 8 and Echo had in Season 12.
ကဲ
Against the Bane, I'm kind of.
Omega နဲ့ဘယ်သူနဲ့
Kairos might get picked up by Omega in the roam. I think. What am I missing here? The Grok or the Minotaur? Maybe. Let's see.
You know what I would do? Show a picture of you like 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Well, there it is. We're going
okay.
back to the game.
That's why Ducky wasn't there.
That's why Ducky was there. All right.
ပေါ်မှာ
Going
ကို
back
က
to
လင်း
it
နဲ့
again, guys. We're just a minute and a half
Yeah,
in. We talked
ကလင်း
about
နေ
the
တွေ့ရတော်တော်
lineups.
ကြာနေပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်
Panelists did it too. You saw the. Oh, hold
တို့
on.
ယူဘိန်းနဲ့ပေါ့နော်
TC going right after the first
Ooh.
blood. Kill,
ဦး
but
ဦးဘယ်ဖတ်စ
Andorio
လက်ပေးရမလား
is going to pick it up.
That's some
Not a
damage.
good
Techno.
start for Fanny.
Okay.
That's an early, and that's a first blood.
At
for
least you have
Andor,
Fanny.
you know,
Yeah,
so
oh,
that's what I'm
Fanny
saying,
beat
man.
out.
You take
There we
those
go.
Omega timers and you just throw it out the window right now because
Wah,
even with an
wah,
early
wah,
kill
wah.
on a
Tao lắm
Bane,
à.
Yeah.
Trong Moscow này
that's
cái
really
lên
going
này.
to help scale Andorio up and play into even this first objective. So if they get the turtle after this, after he gets his purple, it'll be interesting to see how they play their part because, you know, the answer, like you were
Busy level
mentioning,
4
too,
à, với
oh,
cả để thoát đâu
easy.
mấy.
Look at that. Community prediction.
61% for Smart Omega.
The Barangay.
For the Barangay, well, to be fair, they did beat Falcons AP.
Android level 5 ရောက်ပြီကျွန်တော်ဒီဘက်က fan ရော level ဘယ်လောက်ရောက်နေ level 5ရောက်နေပြီ 1
0-1-0
fan တစ်ခေါက် shut down ချခင်ရတယ်သူချလိုက်တော့ Android ပဲလားမသိဘူး Android ချလိုက်တော့ဟုတ်တယ်
doesn't look good at all for Falcons AP
ကြည့်ကြ
Brand.
တယ်
Thinking of a sound effect for the
busy
main.
Samsung ပေးလိုက်ပြီ
Raging
Fanny
Sandstorm
သူအနေနဲ့
and
key ပဲ
Kalki
ဆွဲ
goes
ပြီး
right
ရောက်လာ
after
ပါတော့
Ukir
ဒါ
as
တယ်တော့
Ukir
UK
secures
ရ
the
ထားတယ်
turtle. Here comes the counter attack
တက်ပြီးတော့
of
ခွဲလိုက်ပြီ
Falcons
ဒီဘက်က
AP Brand.
Okay
Gonna catch Kaltizi, but here comes the NetherRealm as well.
ဒါတော့လည်းပြီးပြီးသွားပြီ PC ဗတက်ပြန်ပတ်ရတော့နော်ဖြူနေနဲ့ပေးရမှာလားမပေးရပါဘူး
Ukir
ဒီတိုင်း
secures
မှာ
the
ပဲ
turtle.
ဒါတယ်ဗတက်တွေက
Wow, so in that whole exchange,
ဝင်လာတဲ့တယောက်နဲ့တယောက်
whole
တမ
lot
င်
of
ခွင့်ကြည့်
nothing
ပြီး
in
ပြန်
terms
သွား
of
တယ်
a team fight. No one goes down, but the objective secured
Bro,
for
Johnny,
Smart Omega.
okay.
And you know, again, this
He
is the
didn't
power
know
of just
Khala ne
having a
so.
fairness on your team and your composition.
Khala ka bota
Netherrealm
re bono.
really helps.
ဒီတိသူ့အဲ့ဒီမိဖွင့်လာ
in
ခါလက
extending the
Samsung
fight
တုံး
here.
ကြီးသွားလို့ရတယ်ညစ်ပတ်လို့ရအောင်
He's not going to have
မော်စကိုနဲ့ကလင်ကိုမော်စကိုကအာလီဂိမ်းဖြဲထားမှရအောင်ဘာလို့ဆို
but interesting
Kalin
first
niya,
item
legging
pickup
niya,
too.
tiyan
Sky
mo.
Piercer right off the bat for Andorio.
You know, he
Yào
can't
là biết.
afford to
Okay
get the
ချက်မျိုး
Sky
တွေ့တယ်
Piercer with
ဗရှင်း
Kalki
ချက်ပြီးပြန်ထွက်သွားတယ်
forcing out.
ကံကောင်းလို့ပေါ့နော်ဒီလိုချင်း pop up လုပ်ရ
Again,
မှားခင်ရ
Bane is a
ပြီးတော့
burst type
ဟော
hero,
ဒီဖန်
so
ရ
Sky Piercer is really good for you. If you check the content of Bentix and Demon Kite, the
ကို
reason
ကြီး
why
3နဲ့
Sky
34
Piercer
စက္ကန့်
is
လောက်
picked
ဝင်
up
ကြပါ
that much because
ဘူလစ်က
the
300ပဲ
jungle
ရှိတယ်
prowess of the assassins,
ပပလီစီနဲ့
they're
ဒီ ES
scaling
နဲ့
like the
နေ
Lynx,
နေပေါ့နော်
like the Hayabusa
Right,
Center.
that.
They wouldn't prefer going for the Sky Piercers
Yan ang
because
board, ma.
they're scaling heroes. So as much as possible, they just resort to different items instead. But Andoryu still picks up the Sky Piercer.
Well, part of it too is just again,
Starry,
he's
starry
got a lead that he
night.
can work with, and if you get to a point where you're just, you know, you're popping off on a Bane of all heroes.
အိုး flicker ပါပေးလိုက်တယ်ဟောင်ရေး nice
Good reaction. That's part of it, and that's the pace he can set. And
flicker
I
ဟုတ်လား
like it because really you're just
ဟုတ်တယ်
fighting
flicker ပါ
around
ထပ်
the
ပြီးပေးလိုက်တယ်
objectives. You know that
Đúng rồi,
Kyle
pop up
TZ
load
has
lên
to
pick
get
lại ra
into a
rồi.
certain, you know, area of range even when he tries to contest the
Rồi,
turtles later
để mà
on
xịn.
the
Ôi.
lords here. So having a Bane, having a
Moscow
Deadly as
Korean
Cash
Sky
to
này mà nó
follow
hồi
through off of a, you know, a setup from Chaknu, or whether it be Ryota, if he gets the flicker combination in that we see Edis do so often.
level 6ရပြီ oh my god နေရာဆိုင်ခင်
it
ဘယ်
gets
သူလဲ
pinned
အိုးကွန့်
down
ပေး
by
လိုက်ရ
Val
ပြီ
members.
အန်ဒီတော့ရောက်လာပြီ
That's
ဘ
what
ယ်သူ
you were
shut down
saying, Daisu.
pick မှလဲ oh my god ဟဲ့ဟေး
Just merely the
တက်
fact
နူ
that
ကြီးအ
Omega
မာ
can
လိုက်ကြီး
just
ပေါ့နော်
burst down literally anyone. In that case, that was the Roamer
အိတ်ကြောက်ခဲရ
Falcons
fan ကြီးက
AP
ဘယ်လိုဖြတ်မလဲဆို
Brand.
စဉ်းစား
Prior
လိုက်
to
တယ်မ
that
သိဘူး
clash, we saw a
စဉ်း
glimpse
တော့စဉ်း
of
စားထားပါ legging ကတော့ဖြတ်မှာပါ
Ophiu using the Shadow Stampede, pulling Ryota, and they can actually turn things
Android
around.
level
One
7
first
Fanny level
shatter
ဘလောက်
coming
level
in from
7ပဲ
Ryota.
ဒါတယ်ဗတရား
So
ထက်လာတော့ပဲ
even if you have the Faramis, you can't just pull anyone.
အိုးကွန့်
At
flicker
this
ရှိ
point.
သေးတယ် ultimate လည်း
They're
ရှိတယ်
gonna
အဆင်
get
ပြေဦးမှာ
zone
ဒါ
here. Turtle for the taking, second one of the
Sao
game,
Fan
and
vừa trả lại.
Andorio holding it together. Kyle TZ
trả.
joins the fight.
Okay, Ryota trying to zone out Flap TZ or XP versus
Okay,
XP. Kyle
Android
TZ goes in,
you
but
ရသွား
Android
ပြီ
gets the
Fanny နဲ့
turtles
oh my
for
god
the
ဘာမှ
shot
လုံးမရ
not
ဘူး
gonna
ပေါ့နော်ဒီဘ
go.
က်က
It did.
အစ်စီး
Joke
ပဲ
is
ကျွန်
here.
တော်ဘင်းက
No casualties for Falcons.
တောက်ဝေး
AP
လေးနဲ့
Brand,
လူ
but
ရှိပေါက်သွား
Omega
တယ်ဒီ
just
ဘက်ကလည်း
continuing
ထပ်ပြီးမ rush တော့
dominate
ဘူး
the
နော်သူ
early
တို့ထပ်
game
ပြီး
by
တော့
securing
ပြုတ်ကီး
another
မပေးချင်
turtle.
တော့
So far, so good for Smart Omega. Very clean.
အမားတစ်ခုအမားနဲ့ပြန်ပြင်လို့မရ
execution
ဘူး
on a
နော်
lot of
သိ
the
ချင်
takes,
ဘူးနဲ့
even the
အော်
zoning
ဆိုတော့ထပ်ပြီးတော့အမား
potential
ဆက်မလို့
against
တော့
FCAP, who usually is the team to be
Flap
able to
TZ
do
ကို
that.
grand
You know,
mode
they
စဉ်း
are
စား
the
တယ်ပေါ့
ones
နော်
that
Moscow
has
ကြီး
the
ရောက်လာပြီ
Stacker game just
သူ
mastered
နေ
up
ရ
to
သ
this
လောက်တာပါ
point.
ကိုရှိနေဖို့ plan ချနေ
Right now, they're just trying to
ဟော
stop the
4 man
bleeding
တော့ကြီးဟော
from
Flap
just
TZ Samsung တော့
Smart
ရှိမယ်
Omega
နဲ့တူတယ်သူ
finding
နေ
a
နဲ့
lot
bug
of
ချင်
moments here across the
information
map.
နည်းနည်းတော့ရချက်ကိုနည်းနည်းလေးဆွဲထားပါ
Look
တော့
at how deep Chaknu is in the jungle of Falcons AP Brand again.
TZ သူနေတဲ့
This is the concern that
blue web
Rockart
လေးရအောင်
has.
မလား
The
blue web ကို
contention
side ground
for
ပါ
the
ပြီ
purple
Android
buff
ရောက်
of
လာပြီ
Kyle TZ, and at this point,
သူ
it's
တို့နေ
three
အရှိမ
members
မာ
of
တော့မာ
Omega,
ပြီးထားတ
not
ယ်
even
oh
afraid.
my god
Who's gonna get the purple
ဖယ်
buff?
ဒီနဲ့
It's
check
gonna
no
go
breast
to
ပို့သွားတာ
Android.
shark
Easy
ဝေးကြီးနဲ့
retribution.
ကန်ဆယ်ခံလိုက်ရတယ်
That's a huge problem for the one above all, Kyle TZ.
Yeah, see, that's such a good
1.1
thing,
K
though,
goal
that
lead သွားပြီ
the
ပေါ့နော်
Bane,
ပွဲချင်း
because
6မိနစ်
once that, you know,
အဲ့တော့
once
Omega
Kyle
အနေနဲ့
TZ tries to go
AP brand လို
forward
မျိုး
with
အ
the
တင်း
cables,
အဲ့လို
you
ပြော
just
မှန်း
drop a deadliest catch, and it's enough to kind of
Flap
stop
TZ
them
push
from
ထားတာ
going
အင်းနေနေ
forward
ဟုတ်
for
တယ်
the meantime. But Kyle TZ will continue
Sorry,
to
guys.
farm up, just picks up the Malefic Roar. There's pressure on both sides of the map happening.
ဒီပေါ်မှာ
You
ကို
know,
ကျွန်တော်
FCAP
NS ပဲတယ်
is, again, playing
သူ
around
အနေ
the
နဲ့ leg game
macros
ဆောင်းရ
now
မှာ ပေါ့
they
နော်
just
ကလင်ရ
can't
ဒီ
seem to find a team
one shot
fight.
damage တွေထွက်
We've
ချင်
seen
လို့ပဲ
play to Hepsies already too, alongside the endless battle for Super Marco. So
Clean
at
it
some
by
point,
Taylor,
both gold laners are
Oh,
just going to
clean
show
it.
up to fight,
real she have
locked
it
and loaded, essentially, and then it's going to
let's
come
bet
down to
Moscow
positioning, and that's
Frozen
really
Sky ပြီးသားသူ
something
အနေနဲ့ဒီမွန်ဟန်တာတော့မဟုတ်
Big
အာ
J,
ကျွန်
like,
တော်
Jom has
golden
done
step
that
တယ်မယ်
time
ပေါ့
and
နော်
time
golden
again,
step ပြီးသား
especially on
okay
Zero.
nice သူ
Does
နဲ့
pick up
assist
the
နှစ်ခါ
gold
လည်းရှိ
staff here, so and he's in a
တာတဲက
position
ထပ်
now
ပြီး
when he
ပေါ်တော့
just
မယ်
joins
တာ
the
တဲကအ
fight,
ရင်အေးကြီးရပါ
he
နော်
should be able to go ahead and provide enough damage for the
ဒီကကြောင့် Andrew ကလည်း level 10 Fanny က level 9 UG ပေါင်းနေတာ Andrew ကတာဖို့ 1% ပိုများပါတော့ level 1တာ Oh my god fight easy မရလိုက်ဘူးဟောအေး Oh my god John
Big Jome make big things happen
တော့ကောင်းသွားဗျာ
takes down Kyle Teasy
စဉ်းစားကြည့်အောင်မတာတဲ့ AC ပဲဒီပေါ်မှာ Scarlet Sunstrong ပေးလိုက်ပြီဘယ်သူမှမမိသွားဘူးနော်ဒီတဲ့နေမတည့်ရပြန်ပါမနေတော့ရောလည်းထပ်ပြီးပေးလိုက်ရတယ်တက်နူးတို့နဲ့တာတဲ့ AC ပဲစားရအောင်
clean sweep for all 3
Andrew Oh my god တာတဲ့ရ
Wow
Moscow နေနဲ့ Fanny ကိုဘိုင်းဝဲမေးလိုက်တယ်ဗောနော်
Man,
အနည်းအချင်းနေစဉ်းစားတဲ့မှာ Moscow မေးတာပြန်ခံလိုက်ရတယ်ဆိုတော့သူနေနဲ့ goal တက်ပို့ပြီးတော့ခါခံရကြည့်ကြအောင်လာတယ်ရှုပ်
Before that, okay, Spear of Misery did connect. That's why he was able to make Kyle Teasy go low, but the Peter resistance, the Spear of Destruction connecting onto Kyle Teasy, cast it again to bring down the one
Andrew really
above
fast
all.
နေ Fanny နဲ့အခုမှသူ့ရဲ့ play ကို plus စီပြီးတော့ပထမ first side တယ်
Great play
first side တယ်
there.
ဟုတ်လားမသိပါ
And, you know, just right now, Smart Omega pretty much taking everything from FCAP at this point. That's why, you know, in the early minutes of the game, I was like, just take those Omega timers and throw them out the window. That's exactly what they seem to do. Couple
Feeling
shots
breast
here on
damage
Jack
is on
New,
the
he's
leg
tanky enough to
ဒီ
just
တစ်ခုပဲ
take
ရှိ
it
မှာ
as they march in
Oh
with
my
minions.
god သူတို့
Oh,
နေနဲ့
AOG
Wait, what?
plus her shatter
Oh
from
Pew big
Chocolate
လိုက်ပြီ
Ryota.
Fireman ကိုဒီတိုင်းပဲ
Pew goes down
Tengah
below
dah,
passive,
you
he's
die.
still alive, and here
Wait,
comes
10 minutes.
Owen. Kyle Teasy
Owen?
waiting for the perfect
Maybe be out, no?
strike, though.
ခဏလည်းနေနာကပ်ပြီး
Even
ပေးကြရ
if Falcons AP Brent managed to catch someone with the I'm offended play or the Shadow Stampede.
Yeah.
အနေနဲ့ board မှာ lane push နေလို့အဲ့ဒါဝယ်လို့လို့ဆင်ပြေပါပါ Fanny နဲ့သူနေတော့ရှောက် lane push ဝင်ပြီးရှာမယ်
I haven't
He
seen
was
them
somewhere,
be
Bassan Shaman.
bumped yet. So at this point,
သူက main task ကအဲ့လောက်ပဲရှိမှာအဲ့ဒါမှသူတို့နေ camera point တစ်ခုရှာလို့ရမှာပေါ့
even
ဘုံ
Joe
ဆိုတော့အဆင်မပြေတော့ဒီ camera point နေရှာဖို့အတွက်
honestly at this point, but
Let's go
wait a
Spear
minute,
take it,
here
Harry.
comes the
Don't-
counterattack from
I'll-
Omega as they
Kala
bring down
Chipila,
Flat
yeah.
Easy.
Nice
Very easy kill there as they work on the middle lane turret. Once again, they're going to bring it down. So far, so good. 4.1k. We've been saying Omega
okay
timers,
or get up ပြီးသွားကြောင်
18
flip busy နေ
minutes.
တယ်
Don't make
သူ
it
နေ
reach
နဲ့ကြောင်
that
glow
point.
ဝင်လည်း
I
ပြီးသွား
think Omega's
Fanny နေနဲ့
the
ပတ်စံ
one
ရှာ
not
မ
gonna
အောင်
reach
သူ
the
နေ
Omega
သူ main
timers.
task ကအခုအတားပဲရှိတယ်
Fine. Oh, phew.
Oh, Few
You
has
neither
to
on
cast
pop
the
be like,
dagger
yeah,
just to
he-
make
he-
sure to avoid the
Rotan
potential
Moshi
damage.
or ultimate
Here
Zero,
also
no,
comes
yeah.
Black Shoes.
သူက Fanny blue ကပါထပ်ပြီး
7
raid တော့
seconds.
မှာ
We
သူတို့
might
နေ
see a very, very huge
so
clash.
Spear Fanny
Another
လူ
pull
ပဲရ
coming
သွား
in
လားမရ
from
တော့
Owen.
ကတူက ultimate ချလိုက် shot ပြီးနေ
Backline, two
အင်းအောင်
members
ပြောက်
will
သွားပါ
fall
တော့
down.
ဒီဘုံဝါနေပြီးတော့
Still no deaths for Omega.
ဒီရတာပါထပ်
Kyle
ပြီး push ခံ
Teasy
ရအောင်ပါ
again.
ချက်ကူကလည်းမအတောင်းလိုက်
Somehow
ကြီး
the
ကြီးနေ
guy.
Just there's
သူ
no.
ကနည်းနည်းလေး push လာနေ
Doesn't
ချက်ကူ
look
က
like there's any
လည်းရှိ
window
ကို
at
ခံ
all
မရ
for
အောင်လောလော
FCAP.
လဲ
I mean,
တော့လောပေါ်ချင်း
you
9မိနစ်
asked the question. I just think they don't have.
မေဂါတာဝါ
a
တခါလေး
target
hand လို့ရ
that
ရ
they
ရော
can
လော
actually
ဖြစ်
go
သွားတယ်သူ
for
နေ
for
စက္ကန့်တာဝါ
Omega.
တော့တွေ့ရမှာမဟုတ်
And
တော့
they're falling further behind too. And with that, you know, again, Super Marco, he hasn't been able, he hasn't gone
Really
down,
mind.
he hasn't gotten any kills,
Nice.
but he's got the items that he needs. I just feel like
ကလင်း
part
ဟုတ်
of
ပြီ
it
အခု
is
သူ
the
နေနဲ့
fact that you
0-0-0
have usually
ပေါ့နော်
Chakmu
ကြောက်
or
တော့လုံး
Ugear
ပါ
in the front side of things.
ကြောက်တော့လုံး
And
ကြောက်တ
you're
လုံး
not
ငုံ
going
တ
to
လုံး
kill
ဘဲ
either
တ
of them
လုံး
because, like you mentioned, Black Shoes is there. So Flap trying to get some vision here for the team, Few as well, but they're going to have to buckle in for this first
Benny?
Lord push.
ဘာမှလုံးမရအောင်တာကြီးအပေါ်လိုင်းသွားပြီးရှင်းလိုက်တာပိုကောင်းတယ်မှာဒီလို friendly နေနဲ့ လိုနေထားမှာ
That Omega
ဟုတ်ပြီ
is
သူလည်းအဲ့ဒါပဲ
safe
လုံးမရမှာ
onto Falcons AP
ရှင်း
Brent.
ရှင်းတာကြီး
They
ဘူးမှ
all
မရှိ
still
အောင်
have
လားမ
their holy shields for 3 inhibitor
Nice.
turrets, but this might change with the lead established by
ကို
the
စပီယာထပ်
Barangay.
ပြီးပြ
They
တယ်
have a
နော်
Lord.
ရတော့အဆင်မပြေတော့
Wait for the setup coming in from Ryota or Chaknu, or will Falcons AP Brent manage to counterattack?
There's a Lord. Shields are still up for now. Ryota!
Ryota goes in with the
Obi,
Earthshatter, but Flap
pero
answers
ka?
right back with a
Ay,
raging
may
Sandstorm.
bilabi.
Few has to cast that
Ah,
Nether
wait.
Realm. Finally a
Ah.
kill onto Ryota,
နေတော့
but
ရှိ
Owen
လို့နေတဲ့
goes
စင်
down
တီ
as
နေ
well.
ပါ
Flap
ပါရမနေ
Teasy.
တော့ရှိလို့ damage က
The
နာ Oh my god သူတို့
grab
ဒီ
block
တိုင်း
has
အန်တော့မှာဟဲ့
just
အောင်ရေး
too much. Kyle Teasy working on it, but Omega will take game one
ယော
away.
ဒီတိုင်းမှာပဲ
Just like
first
that.
one နဲ့အန်တော့ပါတယ်
No, but a
smart
guy
Omega နဲ့
timers. Because Omega cleans up Falcons in a
သူက
very
reaction တော့
fast
မရှိ
game.
တော့ကဲကျွန်တော် game 2သွားလိုက်အောင်
Oh, man. Smart.
Am I here? Did I see a Cho in the
skip လိုက်တော့ဆရာကြီးတို့
main high?
Who rotates
Yeah,
better,
bari throw la le.
non-aggression,
Ding,
power
alo,
dives in
bro.
the mid and on the
သူက
side.
Lilia Moscow
Yeah, it's a Kyle and
ဘာထုတ်ထားလဲဒီဘက်က AB
Antonio
brand အနေနဲ့
who gets the winning condition
ဟွ
for
န်း
the
ခါလက် Harabuza ကျွန်တော်တို့ခလောက်
It's becoming just that, isn't it? It's
ဘာ
just,
လို့လဲ
just an
Pagzana,
anime fight of
Kruka,
epic
oh,
proportions.
nice.
Let's throw it over.
Rough ကတော့
to
များတယ်
Nice
ထင်
to
တော့
Eddie
ကြောက်
and
နေတယ်
they're bringing us that anime
တ
fight.
ကူနဲ့ grow ကို defend ဆော့မှာပါ
Well, we're going to find out if someone does teleport here. Starcart, Renmar, thank you for the breakdown once again. Welcome
Mobile
to
Legends,
the
guys.
caster
Hello.
desk, English
Don't
caster
worry,
desk here.
Monton.
Isu joined with Ingan.
F9 Galaxy F9 ဖြစ်သွားမှာနော် Samsung
They're
Galaxy
facing
Arena
match
မှာ
point
F9
here.
Arena ကြီး
Smart
လိုက်ပါ
Omega after a
တော့အရင်ဆုံး
very
Blue Bag ကို
strong
နောက်နေ
showing
ပြန်
game
စားတယ်
one.
နော် Andrew you
We're going to
Blue
leave
Bag
it
ရင်
up
စားတယ်
to this one. We'll see if
Game
FCAP can extend
Other
the
than
series
energy
to
and-
game 3. and
energy
get
ကိုလုံးဝ
their
depend လုပ်တဲ့
revenge
hero တွေ
again
ပေါ့နော်
from
ဒီ
what
hero တွေက
happened in the first half of the regular season. Hang on, how are we feeling about the
ဟော
lineups
Blue Bag
here?
မရှိရင်
I
သူ
do
တို့မြန်
agree
ဒု
with
က္ခ
the
ရောက်လာ
panel again. It's gonna boil down to the jungle lane matchup. Who's gonna snowball first? Who's gonna control the first 3 minutes? First 2-3 turtles. It's gonna be Kyle TZ, the one above all, versus Andoryu, the curly nightmare.
Nice let's go
That came from the Filipino, but I just translated
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
word
say.
for word. The curly nightmare.
Curly Nightmare. Well, you know, again, looking at the emblems here, not only is it going to be the Assassin battle, but also the Warcry emblem battle, which, you know, usually we see, especially with these two heroes alone. Now, part of this is really just wondering if, I guess, the start of this whole game is going to be different for FCAP because they're going to have to fight for it. Look at
Dang.
Andoryu. He's so confident, too, that he's going to just plant himself on this side of the map, take what he can, and get prepped up for the first objective. Earlier on, too, we saw some pretty decisiveness, I would say, from Smart Omega, where, you know, they started off on a strong foot, early game. They got control against a team that is known.
Nice.
FCAP is known for their macro playstyle.
Yeah.
But it was actually Smart Omega that out-macroed FCAP.
I feel like it's gonna take a lot more for Omega to pull off what they pulled off during game number 1. Because looking at the
GG.
XP and Roma Falcons AP brand, both are
နည်းနည်း
tanky,
stun
both
ဖြစ်တာ
have
နော်
sustain.
sorry ပါ
Unlike
Alright, Danny.
game number 1,
ဒါ
where
spacing အများကြီး
Owen
လုပ်လိုက်
had
ပါ
the
ပြီသူ
Ruby, so it was much more
Right.
flap easy, soaking up the damage, becoming the sandbag, and Ogwen just really relying on the
Okay.
unoffended place to connect.
Kai
But
DC
this
ကြာ
time
တယ်
they
တော့
can
ပေါ်လာပြီ
actually interchange.
တက်နူတော်
Even,
တော်လေး
Ogwen can soak
နောက်
up
တယ်
the
ပေါ့နော်
damage
ခုနပွဲ
more
ရ
with
လေ
the
သူတော်တော်လေး
AOG,
pressure
connect with
ပေး
the
ထားပြီ
crowd
ဘက်ကို
control. But this time, a strong start
ဒီ
for Kyle
တာတဲ့အဲ့ဒီ
TZ.
တိုင်း AC ရတယ်
Gets
ဘော့စကော
the
SP
first
ရတော့
turtle
ရောက်လာ
uncontested
ဒါ
without
ပေါက်
any
ပေါက်
trade
လို့
from
ဒီတော့မီ
Omega.
လိုက်ပါဘူး
Yeah, no trades happening again. This is all rotation and also just timing. This
Sorry,
time around,
Nahai,
Smart Omega
Andrew,
decided
you.
not to just go for it. And that's the thing. You don't, like, even if you give up, let's say you don't contest the first 3 turtles at all. With the way the current meta is, some teams have actually made that work. They don't contest any of the turtles. They get prepped and ready. They find what they can or elsewhere around
Good
the
work,
map,
Yavi.
and then they
Nice.
go into a fight for the first Lord. And that's where usually this pendulum swings and sometimes momentum shifts. Not sure if Smart Omega is going to do that for the
WZ.
second turtle, but at
WZ
least for the
Latino.
first one, they just kind of let that go. No first blood's going down yet, so really when we have to pay attention to this is also, you know,
Oh,
gold lane
nice.
matchup-wise, they're going to go ahead and just farm through. And we know that Claude now with the most
Adjustment.
recent patch,
Yeah.
he's pretty much online, you know, 2 items in.
Yeah, again, doesn't cost any more mana for